Say do it, I'm kinda get inside some yo. Say do it, she can't love you like I do.
I'm here. Hello. I know you have so many thoughts and feelings about how long it takes me to show up to stream. And I'm just here to tell you, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You've waited your whole life for me. You can wait like 10 more minutes. You'll survive. Hello. Hello. I'm here. I wasn't even here. Hey, do you remember how long you waited for me to show up yesterday? Animal Crossing and books? I went to my P.O. box. I went to my P.O. box finally yesterday, and I got Christmas presents from Dashing and from John. From Dashing, we got tea. I'm actually drinking the tea that he got me right now. Thank you, Dashing, for the tea. Yes. This music is perfect for this. Hey, look what I got here. A brand new gift from someone dear. Open the pages, see inside. Oh my God, what a great surprise. That's freestyle rapping, even if it's done in like an old-timey mid-Atlantic accent, like I'm Alistair from Husband Hotel. It's still rapping, okay? Oh, I'm so excited. I love it, Dashing. I love it. I don't know if Dashing's here right now, or if he's gonna have to watch the VOD part of this, but I love it. Thank you. It is the Animal Crossing. Yes, it's the official Animal Crossing comic. It's so sweet. So it starts like, and the faces are so good. Look at his little face. Look at it. Look at it. It's so sweet and it's so funny. It's got memes fucking galore. Memes galore. Look at that squirt. Look at you. This is what you guys have been begging me to do on stream for fucking ever. And there it is. InvaderVie squirting on stream. Big, messy squirt. And you get that for free. I like the Splatoon book series. I have one. My brother's a big Splatoon guy. Are you friends with my big brother? Oh, I dropped it. You must be friends with my big brother. He's a big Splatoon dude. I love. Sorry, I keep turning it around because this is the front to me, but this is the front to you. It feels like I'm holding it backwards though, because I kind of am. Me taking a sip of coffee and then V saying something out of pocket as usual. It's just fucking splattering everywhere. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a taste of my own medicine recently, so I understand exactly how frustrating it is for you guys. And I apologize. I'm not gonna stop being myself, but I absolutely understand how frustrating it is to have somebody like me dangled in front of you that you're like, just fuck my brains out. Just shut the fuck up. Stop being so adorable. Stop being so incredibly tempting, and just fuck my brains out. And they go, no, I have like a life and a job and other things I need to be doing right now, so I can't just drop everything and fuck your brains out. And you're like, wow, there really is no God. Anyways, in Animal Crossing, there is a God, and it's me, because I get to be in charge of everything in Animal Crossing. Like, we have a new villager on my Animal Crossing island, because a previous villager was too reminiscent of an ex-partner, so he had to fucking leave. He had to go. He had to get the fuck out of here. So he's gone. Jazzed about that. New villager is Fret, F-R-E-T-T. He's a cranky dog villager. He's got this like big, deep, like grumbly voice. Dashing! We were just talking about the Christmas presents that you sent me and I love so very, very much. I'm sorry, I didn't open them on stream. You didn't miss me opening them on stream. I didn't open them on stream. I opened them yesterday by myself in my living room because I was having a very, very rough day. And I was like, you know what cheers up rough days? Christmas presents. Christmas presents in February. I love it. I'm even drinking the tea right now. Thank you for the tea. I had a big cup of it yesterday and it was genuinely so fucking fortifying. I adore it. I love it so much. It's only ASL the 3rd. And it's been only you for 2 months, so thank you and welcome. Yay! Poppy won't fucking leave. I've been talking to her constantly, but she refuses to leave, and also she reminds me of an ex-partner. So amiibo cards. Amiibo cards are your friend, rightus. Buy a pack of amiibo cards. I'll mail some to you. I don't know how you're gonna get them. But anyways, if you get the amiibo card, then you can invite a camper to your campsite over and over and over again. It takes 3 days. It takes 3 days of inviting them to your campsite. But she was the amiibo card. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. I know, whatever, so what? Yeah. Get her out of here. I got that Marshall amiibo card and I invited him to my island like an idiot, and now he needs to leave as well. Anyways, I love my Animal Crossing book. Thank you very, very much. But you guys, these books. You might have seen these, especially if you guys have kids, which like I know a lot of you do, or your friends, or you're like an uncle or something. These books are available on Amazon. That's where I got mine. And they are the most wonderful. I've bought them for friends' kids and then been like, wow, I want my own set of these as well. They are so cool. The books are so wonderfully illustrated, and they're just like bound. And I mean, I got some used. A couple of these were returns for sure, where people were like, I don't want this book anymore. It's perfectly good. I'm returning it. And I'm totally fine with that. I love a book that has a little bit of history. I love the books. They make me so happy. The Earth one, so fun, so precious, so lovely. Oh my God, the Anthology of Intriguing Animals. This one is just pure fucking dopamine on every page. Are you ready? Are you ready? You guys, let's play a game. Okay, pick an animal. Everybody pick an animal. Are you ready? I'm gonna open it to a random page. And if it opens to the animal that you picked, you have to jerk off. Just kidding. If it's not the animal you picked, you have to jerk off. If it is the animal that you picked, you have to come. Who picked zebra? Who picked zebra? Who picked zebra? Who picked zebra? Or if you're in England, zebra. Beautiful. What an incredible illustration. Oh, I just fucking love it. It's so nice. It's so good. Horse. Is horse close enough to a zebra? Kangaroos. Oh, baby kangaroos. Joke's on you. This guy already came. You already came? I already came too, but like not since I started stream. Give me a minute. I'll think real hard about the poet. It could happen. I love the books. I love the books. I love the books. They make me so happy. And then this one, yeah! This one, interestingly enough, is a different texture. This one's like a smooth texture, and this one is kind of like a fabric-y woven texture. Like these ones are sort of like bound in fabric, perhaps with embossments. And then this one is just like, not that. But it's all about plants, pampas grass, and red river gum, and oh, so many fun things. You guys, I love books. They make me so happy. Thank you very much for the Christmas presents. I didn't just drop the books on the ground. That would be so rude, so I didn't do that. But if it sounded like I did and it turned you on, then I did that. Hey, I recognize those books. I love them. I love them. I know that I just dropped them on the ground, which might make you think that I don't love them, but I do really love them. I do really love them. Oh shit, I should continue sending the royal crowns to your home. Wait, like to the, oh, because I can sell them. Because I can sell them for bells? You mean to my second island? Where's that other pillow? I mean, I would love to write a book one day, I think, obviously. Yeah, those crowns sell for a fuck ton of money, so then I can use it to, like, keep decorating my island. That's good news. That's the news. That's the news of the day that I really enjoy. My outfit today is I'm all the colors of tea. Are you coming up? What's good, bitch? You wanna come over? You can come up over here. Oh, you just walked right over me like I was a fucking object. Yay! Yeah, send me crowns. You could write a book on being an amazing streamer. No, thank you. I would really write it. I have no idea how to do that. I really have no fucking clue. I think there are other people who are like more I mean, I really like streaming. I do think this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I like it a lot. Have we seen these fuzzy boots yet? You guys have seen the black for sure, and the pink absolutely. I don't know if I've worn the brown. Yeah, my camel colored one. Guys, I'm tea colored today. Tea colored head to toe. I like streaming, but I mean, like, I don't stream regularly. I mean, I try to, but that's a struggle, obviously. What I'm excited to do this year is to take an acting class and to see what it feels like to be an actor. Like a real actor for the first time in my life. I sort of skirted away from that particular pursuit. I skirted around it. A little skirting. Should I wear a skirt on my next date with nothing underneath it? No. You know what? I need to pump the fucking brakes on my sexual exploits. The last 3 men that I've kissed have also very enthusiastically expressed their desire to fuck me in the ass. Which is not, I mean, it takes 2 to tango. I understand that as a woman with quite an ass, I should be expecting these desires. Yes, exactly, these desires. I mean, like, why am I surprised? So I was really like, what, like, why is this affecting me? Why is this anything to me? It doesn't bother or surprise or affect me that men that I meet want to fuck my pussy, or my mouth, or my hands, or my feet, or my thighs, or even my butt cheeks. Yes. All of those things, like, without any qualm, I can accept and I can understand. But I'm, like, genuinely taken aback that I'm like, oh wow, all 3 of you want to fuck my ass, eh? As a woman who's never had anal sex before, so now I'm at a crossroads. And what's terrifying is that it's like I'm at 3 simultaneous crossroads, and all of them are right at the edge of my butthole. And the truth is, I'm like, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna have sex with each and every one of you. So the added layer of, and what hole is it going to go into, is so far beyond the first gate. Which means you guys don't need to change anything. These men are being honest with me. They're communicating their desire, which I am grateful for. Yes, I am grateful for their desires and their communication of their desires. But I also can recognize that it takes, like, a mental toll to be the recipient of someone's cock in your ass, even hypothetically. Especially, okay, so, Mr. Daddy, which I don't think I'm gonna see Mr. Daddy again. I feel like the vibes were literally so perfect for disaster. You know what I mean? When you're like, oh my god, you're ticking, like, every single bad box. But that turns me on, obviously. So, I don't think I'm gonna see Mr. Daddy again. So easy enough to sort of put his desire to fuck my ass off to the side, because I can put the entire of him wanting to fuck any part of me off to the side. I just don't think he's the right one for me. Happy fertile February. Why do they want to fuck you in the ass? I mean, to be fair, they also did all express wanting to have other types of sex as well, like all the other types of sex. But, like, also that is, like, a desire for them, that if we were to stay together, that it would be something that we would work towards as a couple, which is valuable to know. I would rather know up front that you want me to wear a butt plug in preparation for taking a penis in my ass, as adults often do, you guys. I wonder if our parents' generation had to deal with this, and then I'm like, yeah, probably. They were, like, in high school in the 70s. So, like, the idea that there wasn't butt fucking in the 70s is ridiculous. And then I'm like, is this, like, an eternal thing for people? And then the reality is, it's fair for me to say, if you want to fuck me in the ass, then I get to fuck you in the ass. We can get a strap-on of appropriate, safe, pleasurable size. Let's do it. It is fair. It is fair. Because like all the arguments for not fucking them in the ass would be the same for them not fucking me in the ass. I feel like I have even better arguments for them not fucking me in the ass. You know what I mean? So many other pleasurable options. What's good, little dog? You're just sitting here hoping that someone's gonna gift you subs. Yeah, me too. So, ultimately, whether these men want to fuck me in the ass or not is neither here nor there, nor in my ass. You are so lucky that Ritus redeemed a treat for you. You say thank you, Ritus. You say thank you, Ritus Paparino. You say thank you, Ritus. The reality is that this is a common experience of anybody who is venturing out into dating. I know a lot of you guys have long-term committed partners, so you're like, I'm not gonna date. But then the idea of, well, what if your partner, I don't know, what if anything happens? What if your partner gets struck by a flaming toilet seat that falls out of the International Space Station? Like, some of us are gonna have to get back into the dating pool, whether we want to or not. Also, we're gonna have friends and even family who are gonna get involved in dating again, and it'd be nice to be able to talk with them and even be able to relate with them. So part of dating is being able to manage the expectations of the people that you're dating, and that's fucking difficult because you obviously like this person. You obviously want to have a connection with them, and it's so difficult because it feels like if you have a connection with somebody, it's so rare and so precious and so important that you need to sort of do anything and everything to keep it going. Even though, no, I definitely recognize that in my 20s, if I had met a man like Mr. Daddy and had that kind of connection with him, where we fucked on the first date and he gave me an orgasm right away, and it was really fucking intense and like very, very sexy and satisfying, I would be like, oh, I need to do whatever I can to maintain this relationship with this man because he gave me something that I didn't think was possible. And I did have those feelings for like about a week. For like 5 days. Where I was like pretty fucking smitten by the orgasm that this 54-year-old man gave me. Yes, puppy, get comfy. Oh, no, she's up again. She doesn't want to get comfy. She knew subconsciously that all of you were screaming, no, don't lay on her thighs. I want to lay on her thighs. It's very important to, like, take a step back, breathe, assess, recognize that I am the one who had the orgasm, and there's probably other men out there who are going to give me orgasms, and I don't need to cater to this man. So on Monday, I did my stream. I was here streaming. Hello, you were here for it too. There's a human in that dog. I know. I know, and it freaks everyone out. Val, you know how you're like a person instead of like a dog? And she's like, oh my God, not this again. Not this again, Mom. She's got very human eyes, which is like so, even from when she was a puppy, she has like this like pink little ring around her eyes. She's got very human eyes, which is scary, but also adorable. Val, where's my hairbrush? Where's Mama's hairbrush? Oh, there it is. You want brushes? You want to get brushed? Oh, you got tangles. Oh, you tangly. Oh, and now you're so staticky. Sorry. She doesn't like that. Yeah. Oh, I made it worse. I wanted it to be better. Where's the cat? Oh, the cat's asleep in my bed. Oh, sorry, sweetheart. I gave you a little bonk. A little head bonk. Cat's asleep on the bed. My proprioception on my left side is not great. We already knew that. I've already explained that several times. And do you have any other pets? I think one day I'm gonna get another cat. Maybe? You know what I mean? It'd be nice to have a cat. I already have a cat, but my cat is going to be 15 in a few years. And 15 is like very old for cats. And so I would love to get a kitten for my cat so that she can be less old and more like a kitten. I was just complaining about Poppy not wanting to leave, and now she's asking to. Are you kidding me, Ritus? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking She just asked to leave. Like, you opened the game, and you're like, all right, Poppy, let's do it. Round 69 of getting this bitch to leave. And she actually said it today. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes, I'm so happy. Yes. Ritus, I do believe that the game listens to us. I really do. I really do. Sorry, I sit down and I scrunch around a lot and move my t-shirt around. So one day I'll get another cat. That'll be exciting. I like cats. And then the one day the cat will die, because Cat Sandra is already 12. She's gonna be 13 this year. That's old. That's very old for a cat. She's getting up there in cat ages. So definitely, probably not going to see Mr. Daddy again. I did my stream on Monday. Sorry, I got so distracted in what I was telling you. I did my stream on Monday. I was tired. Stream on Monday was what it was. I don't know if it was like perfect or not. I think I mostly was still in the emotional fallout from the conversation that I'd had with my brother on Saturday, this past weekend, where I kind of realized that my brother, who I felt like was one of my best friends, sorry, I'm laughing to stop myself from crying. My brother, who I felt like was one of my best friends throughout my entire life, and I felt like he was in the trenches with me for our terrible childhood. I kind of realized that as adults, my brother is more comfortable just being like, whatever makes the angriest person in our family happy is what we should do. And for me, as like a sensitive adult person, I'm like, well, the angriest people in our family want to be angry at everyone, and I don't want that. I just, like, on a fundamental level, I don't want the angriest people in our family to be in charge of how all the rest of us feel, you know? And my brother's just like, well, that's just too difficult for me to, like, you know what I mean? It's just, so I felt really angry. I felt like for the first time I kind of like saw my brother for who he really was. As weird and kind of gross as this sounds, I realized that I was having the same arguments with my brother that I've had with ex-boyfriends before. Where with ex-boyfriends, I've been like, why are you not self-starting? Why do you have so many desires and dreams that are going unfulfilled? And why are you making so many excuses as to why you can't do the things that you want to do? So in particular with my ex-boyfriend, the Big Turk, he refused to exercise. This adult man, this 40-year-old man, had gone basically his entire life without exercising, had like spindly thin arms and a big fucking gut. Like a big fucking gut. I was very attracted to him because I'm very attracted to people who are charismatic and charming and curious. Unfortunately, those people are often narcissists. But I can say objectively, like, he was not physically attractive. He wasn't taking care of himself. He really rested on the fact that he was very tall and very handsome, and he could just wear dark, baggy clothes, and people assumed that he had a very fit body underneath, but he didn't. It was so frustrating that when we would cuddle, he would constantly be like, oh, watch out for my belly, like he was a pregnant woman. And I'm like, my dude, I'm trying to grind my ass into you, and you're like, oh, watch out for my big fat belly? Like, the cognitive dissonance here was really mentally taxing for the years that I dated him. And I fought with him about, like, you need to exercise, you know? Like, you need to exercise. And I tried, and you know, pardon me, when I say that I fought with him, that was like the 28th thing that I tried to do to get him to exercise. The first thing I tried to do to get him to exercise was to exercise myself. I was like, I'm doing yoga. So I'm gonna move your coffee table, and I'm gonna lay out my yoga mat, and I'm gonna put on a yoga video, and I'm going to do yoga. I know, do you remember doing yoga? He joined me, I think, three to 5 times doing yoga. I'm not giving you more treats. I'm really not giving you more treats. No, I'm not. And every single time he joined me doing yoga, it ended with us getting into a fight and him screaming at me for picking the wrong video because the video was too hard and it was too advanced and he couldn't keep up with it. And in retrospect, doing yoga wasn't giving him any narcissistic supply. Doing yoga made him feel like a failure because I've been doing yoga since I was 18. I'm great at it. So when we put on a yoga video and the yoga instructor says we're gonna get into downward dog, my body does that automatically. I know intrinsically where I know downward dog better than I know basically how to like open a jug of milk. Like I live in downward dog. So these were beginner videos, but for whatever reason, the Big Turk believed that his body was supposed to be doing the same things that my body was doing and that the video's body was doing. And he couldn't, because narcissistic people can't see things from other people's perspective, he couldn't even view himself from the perspective of, oh, I'm brand new at this. I'm out of shape. I've not been exercising. I've never done anything like this. I'm not going to do it like the video does it. Instead, he just got angry. He had a very, very tight emotional response, a very rigid emotional response, which resulted in him just like snapping at me for not picking the right video. Like it's my fault for not picking the right video. Narcissists are terrifying. Yeah. Yep. Because realizing that the person in front of you doesn't consider you a person. Like you are either a prop for their show, you are a supply, like an audience member clapping for their show, or you're a punching bag backstage that they take out all their anger and aggression on in secret. And that is terrifying because being dehumanized means that they can kill you. Because I can break a glass. I can take this Barbie doll and I can tear its arms and legs off and I can throw it against the wall and I can throw it in the garbage. That's totally fine. It's a Barbie doll. Who gives a fuck? It's a hunk of plastic. It's not a person. But when people dehumanize you, they turn you into Barbie dolls and they turn you into disposable items. And that is terrifying because there's no escape from that perspective. And it is damaging. It is damaging to be in that intense state of fear. Narcissists are also so scary because they hide in plain sight. You can recognize them. You can recognize them. It just is very painful to recognize them because there's a lot of guilt and shame that comes along with your own hoodwinking. It's Broloff and he's gifting subs. Oh, and Secret Genesis, thank you. Welcome, Secret Genesis. It's been 17 months. It's been well over a year of Secret Genesis. Oh, V-Day. So, narcissists come in many different types and many different flavors, and I had no idea about this. I had no fucking clue that there were so many different types of narcissism and so many different ways of centering and decentering. There are the narcissists who believe that they are the classic narcissist. They're just grandiose. They're like, I know that I am going to be a millionaire one day. I am going to live in a 5-bedroom mansion and I'm going to get the accolades that I deserve. Having that belief is absolutely fucking great. That's awesome. I have that belief because I think this year I'm going to start acting and I'm going to become a successful and happy actor and I will make millions of dollars being a happy and successful actor. That's actually been my plan my entire fucking life, and I have slowly been working towards that in a way that has felt safe and nurturing and creative to me. Like I worked as a Disney princess. I worked in retail selling things to people face to face. And I've done half a decade of Twitch streaming in front of an audience that I built myself out of fucking nothing. So, like, I do feel really, I don't think it's grandiose narcissism for me to say, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna live in a a 3-bedroom house, you guys! I only ever imagined living in a 2-bedroom house before. And all of a sudden, here I am. I'm gonna live in a 3-bedroom house, because 1 bedroom's gonna be like my office studio, and 1 bedroom's gonna be like a guest bedroom for when people come over. I love having people come stay with me. I love having company over. And then I want my own bedroom, obviously. And then I'm gonna have a sex dungeon just for my sex. I mean, every room's a sex dungeon when I'm in it. Let's be real. That's right, puppy. That's right. I'm not giving you more treats, you nasty little rat. But grandiose narcissists, like one of my ex-best friends, say all the exact same things that I'm saying. I hear you, you little baby. Those are the cops coming to get you for whining. Those are the cops, and they're coming to get you for being a whiny little pickle. And you know what we do to whiny little pickles? We eat them. We crunch them in our teeth. Anyways. So, I had a friend who would say these exact same things. She would say, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to live in a 5-bedroom house, and everyone is going to recognize my talent. And she's even like, and I'm gonna do it by being an actor as well. And I was like, that's great! How are you doing that? And she's like, I don't know. I got fired from my day job because I didn't want to do it. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, well, are you like, then, like, are you like writing your own work? Are you, I even offered her to start Twitch streaming. I was like, you should Twitch stream. Like, I think Twitch streaming is a very valuable tool for people who want to be actors. It's like you're in front of an audience, you're entertaining them. It's like doing stand-up and then also like a performance of like a character. It's super fun. Like, I see a lot of value in Twitch streaming and then also using that to become an actor, for sure. She didn't want to do any of that. She didn't like any of that. She said no to all of that. And so I recognize that she's a grandiose narcissist. She believes that her life will be full of these incredible, beautiful things, but that they will just come to her because she intrinsically deserves them, not because she's been putting in effort a little bit every day for her entire life. Autistic lesbian is such a great username. That describes a large portion of my audience, to be perfectly honest. It's so funny that there's like hundreds of people who watch and never speak, and I feel like a lot of them are women on the spectrum. You might not have been born a woman, but you're a woman and you're on the spectrum. I see all of you. Some of you have had vaginas from birth. Some of you have dreamed of having a vagina from birth, and all of you are on the spectrum, and all of you are very quietly watching my stream, and I love you all very much. My autistic lesbian horde. She's sitting in my lap, and she's staring in my little face, but also, do you guys see why I'm like, my dog and I are, like, she's my fucking angel baby. We're the same color, look. Come here, rat. We're the same color. We got same color hairs. I love you. I love you. Oh, your nose is so wet. Your nose is so wet. What were we talking about? Before I got distracted by autistic lesbians. My favorite porn category. I want a lesbian to talk to me about her doll collection. I also want her to describe to me all of her woodworking fantasies. And I'm gonna jerk off to that until I die. This is why I'm okay. This is why I'm okay being single for the rest of my life. Because there are women who are hyper fixated on whatever the fuck they want, and I'm here for it. Oh, I love it. That's my favorite porn category. Because it's also me. Like, so, Mr. Daddy probably not gonna see him again. After my stream on Monday, I was so tired. I was supposed to see Mr. Daddy. He was gonna come over and he was gonna fuck my brains out and breed my pussy like the sweet little bitch that I am. But I was so tired after stream. I went into my kitchen. I ate a cracker. I ate a cracker with hummus on it, and then I burst into tears, and I sort of came to, curled in a ball on my shower floor. And I was like, I think I don't want to have to, like, be a sex puppet tonight, you know? I don't want to be, like, a little sex doll. Do not put your butthole on me now! No, not your butthole. Okay, it's not her butthole on me, so I'm okay. But also now it looks like I'm not even wearing my shorts. Twitch, I'm wearing my shorts. They're definitely there. I just think it's adorable that, like, it looks like I'm not even wearing my shorts now. Because my thighs are so thick. So it's like Ghost, but with, like, woodworking and 2 women. I mean, Ghost was happening with 2 women as well. Patrick Swayze was, using Whoopi Goldberg's body to, like, get down and dirty with. Was that Demi Moore or was that Jennifer Connelly? I feel rude for mixing them up right now. Hello. Can't do more says, I'm just scared of you. That's horny. I love when you're scare-roused. I do appreciate when y'all are scare-roused. I love that Bal matches the room. I think you should match Bal. Like, I should put pink on as well. Got my scare action going. Putting your butthole on somebody is a term of endearment. Ugh, cops never agreed with me, though. And that's how I got arrested the 3rd time. So I told Mr. Daddy, I texted Mr. Daddy, I messaged Mr. Daddy, and I said something to the effect of that, like, I feel really bad for asking to cancel or to reschedule, but I'm just not, like, really feeling, and I don't want to be numb when I'm with him. I want to, like, really be able to feel the experience of, like, him breeding my pussy in the way that I enjoy. And he was like, yeah, don't worry about it, like, have a good night. And I was like, okay, that's good. And then a couple hours later, he asked me for a picture to jerk off to. And I need to be mindful. We're gonna be mindful, okay? Mindfulness means feeling your emotions. First and foremost, anger. Are you fucking kidding me, Mr. Daddy? I did the vulnerable fucking work of expressing my own boundary and shortcoming. You idiotic, stupid man. And you have the fucking disgusting audacity to then ask me for more jerk-off material. So, like, first and foremost, I was angry. I felt angry. Because I was tired. And when you're tired and you say, yo, I'm just so tired, I really don't have anything in my tank. And somebody goes, hey, but can you give me something? Like, I know that you just told me that your tank is empty, but I'm gonna ignore what you just told me and ask you for more. It's anger. Once you scratch the bottom of that tank, I'm gonna get angry. You know what I mean? I just told you. Bow. Shush. Shush. I know your friends are out there, but you gotta leave them. Ooh, that rage hit me hard. You need to be angry, okay? I need to feel angry. It's Roystang, and he deserves my rage, yes. The rage is natural, and the rage is good. The rage needs to be felt. Part of being mindful, part of being an emotionally intelligent person is not just ignoring angry or bad feelings. It's actually feeling them and then recognizing, so where does this angry feeling actually come from? What is the root of this anger? And I explained it. The root of this anger is that despite having nothing in my tank, despite feeling completely drained from entertaining like the hundreds of people who watch me on stream, I still found patience. And because the reality is I could have just ghosted him. He was like, hey babe, I'm gonna come over with a bottle of wine. I'm gonna like have dinner with my kids and then like set them up in front of the TV or what have you, and hopefully they don't have a party or whatever. And and I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna fuck your brains out. And I could have just ghosted him. I could have just not responded. I could have blocked him. Could have deleted the conversation. But I didn't. I told him. And I even, like, I went, like, to be honest, like, hey, that's enough. Bella, that's enough. So, first feeling, anger. Had the anger on Thursday, says Ritus. I was fucking ready to punch walls. I was beyond pissed. Ooh. I've punched things before. I severely regretted it. I always regretted punching. As crazy as this sounds, something that really helped me yesterday was I took a piece of paper and I put a pen in my hand and I just scribbled on the piece of paper. It felt like messy and imperfect and wasteful, and I was able to sort of like take all of my angry feelings and jam it into the like singular tip point of the pen. Scribbling, just like take a piece of paper and scribble. And do you know why I think you should do this? Not because taking the pen and scribbling felt particularly good. It didn't, to be honest. It really didn't. I closed my eyes. I didn't even look at it. It didn't feel like anything in the moment. It felt silly. It really did, to be honest. It's what happened afterwards. It's actually what happened after I did the scribbling. After I did the scribbling, I put the pen down and I was like, okay, I did it. I did something imperfect. I did something fueled by pure rage. And I made like a mess in as big a way as I felt like I could. Which was like just to like mess up a single sheet of paper. And then when I opened my eyes and I looked at that piece of paper, I was very, very shocked that I had sort of created a Rorschach test for myself. And I immediately recognized that I had made my brother's signature. I had sort of like subconsciously created my brother's signature. Harry and Faith, welcome. Thank you. I was very shocked. I was like, why did I sign my brother's name angrily? What a weird thing to do. That's so weird. What a weird thing to do. And then I was like kind of shocked that I was like, yep, that looks like my brother's signature. That's a very strange thing as for my anger to come out as. And then that wasn't even the weirdest part. The weirdest part was I grabbed the piece of paper and I flipped it over and immediately it turned into my A-frame cabin on the lake with trees, and there was 2 kayaks in the water. And I was like, what? Where did this come from? How is this here? Where did you? I couldn't understand how I never in a million years would have connected any of those things. And for some reason, somehow, the act of just scribbling on paper created this bridge of understanding that holding on to my brother, holding on to my stepfather, my father, my mother, my stepbrother, my aunts and my uncles, holding on to even the idea of my grandparents who have passed. They all signed off on the cruelty that we have endured with each other. They all signed off on it. And it wasn't an accident of childhood. It was something that they all perpetuated into adulthood, where like you are an adult, you have a signature, you can sign your name, you can with a conscious effort make the choice. And I do not choose to sign off on that life. I really, really do not. Because I recognize that signing off on that life will forever keep me from the dream that I know requires no commitment to anger. No commitment to smallness. No signing away my life to make other people comfortable. An A-frame cabin with 2 kayaks. So you're dreaming of my grandfather's camp. I mean, yeah, I guess so. Okay, it's time for me to take my first break. You guys, grab a piece of paper and a pen and pick a feeling. Pick any feeling and scribble something and see what you scribble, and then turn it upside down or turn it on its side or rip it in half and hold it up to the light and see what it is. Because I can't be the only one who can do this. Okay, BRB. This little dog of mine. This troublemaking little dog of mine. What does one do with such a troublemaking little dog? You are so trouble. Aye. You trouble. You trouble. I posted the first Instagram photo. You're welcome. Why are more people not chatting when there's hundreds of people watching? So we're talking about the autistic lesbians again, are we? Oh, that photo of Val is so good. The one with her in the chair back there. Yeah. It's so cute. She's the best puppy in the whole wide world. I love her so much. Yeah. She went and she was like cuddling with the fucking toys. And so I buried her in more toys. So fucking cute. So fucking cute. I just like to play games while I listen to streamers. It's very fun to have the sort of benign, erotic nonsense that spews out of my mouth playing in the background. Absolutely. It's very fun. It's very nice. Yeah. Especially when, like, every once in a while I get to describe having 3 orgasms in a row on date night. I'll never get over that. That was such a good date night. It's a great date night. Her big old puppy eyes. She's so sad because I put the treats away. So now she's looking at fucking, I don't know what. Yeah, what are you looking at? You don't even know what you're looking at. Can I help you? Can I help you? The running shorts, these ones are even better because they have pockets. They have pockets. I can put things in here. I can, like, put my hands in my pockets when I'm in trouble. Or you could put your hands in my pockets and get me into trouble. I do love the running shorts. And, like, they've got the piping. And they're not red, actually. They're kind of, they're brown. They're, like, tea colored. This is why I wore them. Because I was like, oh, I'm so tired. So tired. It's February. It's February, and every single year, well, okay. To be fair, I thought that the best way to prevent the sort of February lull, which we all experience, I was planning on going to fucking Jamaica with my idiot friends with benefits that I was seeing last year. And he let me believe, he truly let me believe that it was a possibility. Like on December 16th. He was like, yeah, babe, we're totally going to go on vacation. Like, end of February, maybe. End of January, maybe. I have lied to people that I've gone on dates with. Absolutely. I've been on a first date with a guy. And he's been like, I'll pay. And I go, that's so kind of you. I'll pay for our second date. And I know that there is no second date, which is why I'm saying that to them, because I'm lying to them. I know it's not good, but that's usually like a first date thing. And when you're on the first date and you lie about you going on the second date, that is done for exactly one reason. And it's because if I don't make that lie, I will spend the next 3 hours, whether I want to or not, debating this guy about whether we're going to go on a second date or not. Invariably. It happens every time. It happens every time if they go to pay at the end of the date. And I'm like, oh, no, let's split it. Like, let's split it. Because, like, and they go, no, you'll pay for the next one. And I'll go, oh, I don't know if there's going to be a next one. Then the argument begins. Then they're, why? What do you mean there's not going to be? But oh, come on, don't you and then it's just like, oh no. Now I'm debating whether you get access to me or not. And that's my least my least favorite way of talking to people. Yeah, I don't like that. Thank you, Carbon Ranger. Hi, Aldo. How are you doing? Yeah, that's so rude. North Countryman. Oh my god, I can't believe how casually you would just say something so insulting to write us. Such a chill I'm having a chill day. I don't know if you can tell. It's February. I need to chill. I dressed up as tea. I dressed up as tea for you today. Val. I know. I hear it. No. No more barking. Put yourself into timeout. Now. Sorry, I just had to. So my anger at Mr. Daddy asking for more jerk-off pictures of me, which, like, I can feel myself being unreasonable, and I'm gonna just ask you guys to give me permission to be a little bit unreasonable just for a second, okay? I have taken so many photos of my body to jerk off to. I really have. I understand that it's not unreasonable to ask for more photos of my body to jerk off to, but it feels like it is. And so I'm like, it's unreasonable for you to ask me for photos of my body to jerk off to. Even though I can recognize that it's not unreasonable, I'm being unreasonable and being offended by it. Because it's like, yeah, I do it for work. Take jerk off photos for work, so. But that is neither here nor there, because I had already expressed to Mr. Daddy that I was like, I have nothing left in the tank. Yeah, just send him the Patreon. Wow, see, and this is why friends are so important. This is also why it's so important to share your experiences with people, because you're absolutely right. I should have just sent him the link to my Patreon and been like, go right ahead, pay my rent, bitch. But I wasn't thinking clearly. I was just so angry because I felt like my boundary had been disrespected and violated. I didn't like it. Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to see Mr. Daddy again. And I feel good about that. I feel like vibing really well with somebody when things are going well, and then when things aren't going well, realizing that you don't really vibe anymore, that's bad. That's a red flag that I need to listen to, that I wouldn't always have listened to in the past. But I know now that, like, if I tell a guy, no, sorry, we can't hang out tonight because, like, my tank's really empty, and he does anything less than ask me, what can I do to fill your tank? That guy's gonna eat fucking rocks, you know what I mean? He's not getting anything else from me. Why did he want nudes? Why did he want jerk-off pictures of you? Because it turns men on to be able to command, like, a woman like me to get on her knees and take a photo in front of her mirror, you know? It turns him on. He wanted to be supplied with erotic imagery of me because he wasn't able to, like, actually come over and fuck my brains out. And I feel like that was not necessarily a test, but it was an example. It just taught me. It just is a lesson, not a mistake. So, yeah, I am probably not going to see Mr. Daddy again. I know that's going to be fine. I know that I can just explain to him, we had great chemistry, absolutely, but I don't actually feel right in continuing to see each other. And I feel like there is a possibility that he will just accept that and move on, and then that'll be fine and great, and my life will continue onward. And then there's also the part of my brain that is coming forward to protect me. That then gives me the scenario where he goes, are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely not. Your pussy belongs to me. And he comes and he kicks down my door and he pours gasoline all over me and he lights me on fire. It's exhausting. Being mindful and emotionally mature means having both of these thoughts. The thought of like, there's the fire truck coming to put me out because he's coming to make sure that no man ever touches me again. Yeah. It's more likely that he's just going to be like, okay, yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. I had fun. Thank you so much for a great night. It was lovely talking with you. I am glad that we connected. And hopefully, and then there's also like the in-between where like he might just try to like do the thing where he's like, no, I'm going to convince you that we're going to go on a second date. Or like, no, I think it's like really important. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know, like there's 6,000 possibilities. Let's give a conservative estimate. 6,000 possibilities for how this guy is going to react to me saying like, no, I don't want you to have, I don't want to keep doing this. It's so hard because before I had done all this reading and before I had gone on the SSRIs and before I'd had like years of therapy under my belt, hi, my love. Hello. I would have been so afraid of the worst case scenario of him that I would have just kept giving him basically whatever he wanted, which is so bad. It would have meant that like I would have let him come over. I would have let him fuck my brains out on Monday night. It meant that I would have spent all day yesterday feeling like really weird and guilty and ashamed and very like unlike myself. Yeah, so I'm glad I didn't do any of that. Val, if you want to come up, you can come up. She's such a freaking dingus. You're such a freaking dingus. You're a dingus McBlingus with a wild wingus. You're such a puppy. You just gonna hang out with us? You wanna wear your hood? She cute. She a hoodlum, but she's a cute hoodlum. Is that racist? Should I not call her a hoodlum? Sounds like growth. So I'm very excited to not see Mr. Daddy again. I think that's gonna be fine. I also don't think he's gonna light me on fire. This is probably not gonna happen. It's probably gonna be fine. There's a lot happening in the city today. Yeah, there is. Crime City. Crime City. Are you doing crime? The poet. Yes, can't wait to see the poet again. Super jazzed for that. Was definitely sending him pictures of my butt in the bathtub last night. Big fan of the poet. Also deeply overwhelmed. Imagine you trained your whole life in high jump. Imagine you were like an Olympic level high jumper. You practiced running. You practiced clenching and pulling potential into your muscles. And you practice the exquisite release that comes afterwards in bounding up and over. You studied the techniques. And you not only have competed at an insanely high level, but you've been recognized and given accolades for your high jump ability. And then you just meet somebody who just has such an insane natural aptitude, or at least like what feels like such an insane natural aptitude in your sport of expertise. It's exciting. It's exciting because you're like, okay, cool. This person is obviously going to teach me a lot. And this is amazing. I love high jump. I love watching somebody excel at high jump because I love high jump. But it's also hard not to be like, what the actual fuck? Okay, now imagine it wasn't high jump and it was car racing and it was somebody else driving your car. And then imagine it wasn't high jump and it wasn't car racing and it wasn't somebody else driving your car, but it was some guy coming and touching your pussy with his fingers. And you're like, oh, I guess I had no idea how to masturbate myself because this guy just did it to me so much and so hard and so quickly that I literally was like a completely different person for days afterwards. on one hand, incredibly grateful. Incredibly grateful to have my pussy played like an expert pianist on stage for a concerto that would change the world. That feels amazing. That's incredible. But also a little bit shocking, a little bit like, wait, what just happened? What did I just do? How did it just happen? How was it done? Yeah, it's a lot. You barking at the boys? You barking at the boys in the hall? Hey, listen to me. Belle, leave it. I get it. You're you're a stone cold bitch. You're the protector of the neighborhood. You're the righteous arm of justice that extends her adorable, look at her stupid little paws. Look at her stupid little paw of justice. Yes, you are the thin line between chaos and utopia, my love. And you keep it steady with your little borks, but also shut the fuck up and no more borks. I hear ya. You're very cute. You're a very cute puppy. And everyone should be able to gaze upon your cuteness and appreciate you. I agree as well. I agree. You got Chopin! It was God laughing at me. I can't remember the full quote from Amadeus. And mostly because I'm not even thinking of the movie Amadeus, because I watched that once in elementary school and I was like, whoa, this movie's fucking intense. But I mostly just remembered the farting. But I do remember the Family Guy, Peter Griffin going, it was God laughing at me. And then the music coming in. Seth MacFarlane looks like a Monchichi doll. There's an episode of American Dad where they made him say that David Schwimmer looks like a Monchichi doll and that I don't look like a Monchichi doll like David Schwimmer does. And I was like, what the fuck is a Monchichi doll? I had no idea. I'm not that old. I was born in 1990. So I looked up Monchichi dolls, and I thought it was so funny that I was like, this doll looks like Seth MacFarlane. And I was like, did they make him say that on purpose? Because he does look like a Monchichi doll? I'm like that when someone plays music really well. I'm like, give up on music, never again. Okay, I actually love watching other people excel. It does inspire me. But then, like, having this guy be able to, like, play my pussy literally like a fiddle, it takes some recalibration. I need to, like, sort of understand myself a little bit once more. Because he gave me a whole brand new set of myself to understand, you know? So I'm grateful and I'm happy, but I can't also ignore that I'm very discombobulated by the entire experience. And also, how do I say this without coming across as a cock-hungry nymphomaniac whore whose pussy is always ready to be pounded and filled constantly? I'm just, like, really into him. And usually, I know this sounds incredibly narcissistic, which is, like, the key of a lot of our conversations. It's usually the guy who feels that way about me. It's usually the way that the guy feels about me. And I have, like, a little bit more sense and a little bit more ability to, like, step back and not be so dickmatized, you know? Anyways. All this is to say the different types of narcissists. So we talked about grandiose narcissism, the people who believe that just, like, they deserve the best things in the entire world all the time because of who they are, not because of, like, the effort that they're putting in daily or what have you. And thank you for deleting the comment. This is not really a stream where we talk about other streamers, but talking about narcissism is invariably talking about other streamers. I can recognize that I have a narcissistic personality because I do think I am very attractive and funny and smart and witty, and I can recognize that other people aren't attractive and funny and smart and witty. So it makes me a bit narcissistic that I'm like, I'm a little bit better than other people. That's narcissism! I am not better than other people. I am not. I can excel at things. Just like you can excel at things that I would fail at, and you are better than me. Oh my God, such a narc. So anyways, I can recognize that in myself. And something that I've always been really attracted to is self-awareness, because I have a little bit of it and I like it in other people. And so one of my only streamer friends that I've made online was somebody like that, was somebody who was like kind of full of themselves, but they knew they were kind of full of themselves. They were a little bit narcissistic, but they like could recognize that they were a little bit narcissistic, that they did believe that they were different from other people. And that's self-awareness. They are different from other people. But the difficulty is when I'm different from other people then becomes a justification for how you treat other people. And that's been one of the most difficult, like not only difficult to deal with because I recognize my brother is like real big into performative justice, which is a clear marker of narcissism as well. I don't think my brother is a narcissistic person. I think my brother is a narcissistic enabler. And I think when you enable narcissism, it makes you feel like you're also a special person in a certain way, because you can see this special person for their special reasons and you believe their specialness. And that makes you feel good. It feels good to feel special. But this is narcissism. This is not based on authentic connection or effort or understanding. It's based on power and supply and usefulness. And we know that being supplied with usefulness is beneficial for everyone involved. It does feel good to be useful to other people, even if it is dehumanizing. Flinglish said, I just rewatched the scene. It's Salieri telling Mozart to play Salieri, and Mozart plays it easily. And he said, that was God laughing at me. And that's exactly what it felt like when that guy fingered my pussy until I came really, really hard. I genuinely was like, yeah, go ahead, play with my pussy. Let's see what you can do. Fuck! Like literally. Oh, and the money at the same time. That's so funny. Thanks for the money, Spoonie. What's that for? Yeah. He really, like, he kept saying, the poet kept saying on our date on Friday, he was like laughing at himself and he kept repeating over and over and over again, which I was like, why are you saying this? What's happening here? He kept saying, you're really underestimating me. You're really underestimating me. And I was like, I don't think I'm estimating you at all. I just know my own body. And I know what my body is capable of, and I know that, like, if you're not gonna have sex with me tonight, then the chances of me having an orgasm are basically zero. Like, it's hard to bring somebody to an orgasm the first time you're physically intimate with them, especially so if you're like, and we're not gonna have, like, penis and vagina sex. That's, like, one of the easier ways of coming to orgasm. And so he was like, we're not gonna have sex, but I think I'm gonna rock your world. And I was like, all right, whatever you believe is possible. So there. He put his money where his mouth was, and his money is his hands, and then his mouth was on my pussy as well, and that made me come too. I can't even remember the circumstances of, like, leading up to, during, or after the third orgasm that I had when he went down on me, because I was so factory reset. I was just like, I didn't even know this was fucking possible. Anything is possible now. Like, I feel like he could have pulled a bouquet of roses out of my pussy and I would have been less surprised than I was with that third orgasm. That's nice. I'm trying to, like, figure out when I get to go to Muay Thai with him. He's like he went to Muay Thai last night. He's covered in bruises, so horny, so sexy, makes you want to die. And he's like, yeah, like, I always invite people to come with me because it's incredibly fun and it's good for you and it just, like, improves every part of your life. So I'm excited to try Muay Thai. I have no idea. I should probably watch a YouTube video. I have no fucking clue what it is. Hi, babe. How do you like big cock on your body? Like a gigantic rooster? I don't really care about chickens. I really don't. I like ducks. I live in Canada. I live in a part of the world that gets all 4 seasons. The cops are coming for this guy because he is sexually harassing me. So I live in a part of the, I love ducks. Ducks are waterproof and also, like insulated. They're like cold proof as well. So I like ducks more than I like chickens, personally. No offense to a lot of people in here. You gotta find that spot first. Which spot? Val, what are you doing back there? It's Gotham stream vibes with the sirens in the background. The cops are looking for me and they are not finding me. This is exciting. Val, what are you doing? What are you doing over there? Are you trying to get your toy? And then there's the third. Okay, so I was a little embarrassed on Monday. So I don't remember if I told you this or not, but my date on Sunday with the 6'8" man, I just can't get over how tall he is. It's very silly. I maybe kind of sucked his dick and let him come all over my face. And so I really up on my hoe shit. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I sucking this man's dick? Why am I letting him come all over my face? And then I was like, okay, you were just very horny. You were so dickmatized, absolutely. Yeah, I was on my knees, but I was also like kind of up on my tiptoes at the same time. Yes. I had this beautiful fantasy where he never reached out and spoke to me ever again, and I could just pretend like that never happened. But he wants to see me again, so I have to see him again, because I also want to see him again. But I'm a little bit embarrassed that I sucked his dick and let him come all over my face. I didn't need to do that. And I will not repeat that. It's not going to become a habit of mine on a first date. Val, are you trying to get your toy? Oh, I get it. It's because I moved the plants, right? And so you can't get your toys because they're close to the plants. You're a good girl. You can move the plants. It's okay. They're just plants. It's fine. I don't mind being moved. The dog's stressing. I think that Saturday was just so upsetting. The Saturday phone call that I had with my brother was so upsetting. I was like, you know what I would rather feel? This 6'8" man come all over my face. That I'd rather feel that than feel sad about how like shitty and betraying my whole disgusting family has been. And I think that's human. Val! Can you come here, please, my love? Val, can you come here, please, my love? Come here, please. Val. Hi. Hi, good girl. Do you think maybe... Oh, she left. She's gone. Nope, I didn't say anything that she wanted to hear fast enough. I didn't have an idea for what I was going to say to her. I just want her to stop doing what she was doing. I didn't think of that far ahead. He's definitely going to expect to come all over your face again. Well, he's one of the guys who wants to fuck me in the ass. And I think that was the tipping point for my mental capacity, where I was just like, there's literally no way in hell that a 6'8" man is ever going to fuck me in the ass. His dick was large. He had a large penis. Absolutely. And there's just no fucking way. And then the idea of a 6'8" man fucking me in the ass is too much. It's too much for my little 5'5" brain. And so I'm just like, I can't. I really can't. I literally had to take a whole day off streaming just to relax and to let go of that. But then to also recognize that I need to tell this 6'8" man, like, it's stressing me out beyond what I think you want, that you want to fuck me in the ass, because that's too much. That's obviously too much. That's obviously too much. I don't think there's ever a possibility that would ever, it's not possible. I'm not a porn star. I might dress like one, talk like one, sound like one, act like one, and occasionally fuck like one, but I'm not actually a porn star. He could literally kill you with that dick. I think also just the reality is the like physical mechanics of it is not attractive to me. There's not an appeal to being able to accomplish that sexual feat to me. I don't see myself being joyed on the other side of that. God in heaven. Thank you, Samuel. Welcome back. Welcome back. What a beautiful biblical name. You love to see it. What's good, Rat? Sounds like a high-stakes game of rock, paper, strap-on to me. Thank you. Thank you, random horny chatter. Okay. What would it be like for me as a 5'5" tall woman? What would it be like for me to fuck a 6'8" man in the ass with a strap on? How would that make me feel? Because maybe that's what I need to be focusing on, the reciprocation. Exactly. I love that chat is coming. I feel like after we all like put aside the image of what it would be like for me to be absolutely destroyed by that man, now we're sort of like coming back to a mindful place of thinking about butt sex. That's right, a mindful place about thinking about butt sex. And mindfully, let's remember that if he gets to fuck me in the ass, I get to fuck him in the ass. Oh. I don't hate it. Harry John, getting caught by the auto mod. Do you want a VIP? So you don't have to, yeah. You may be a liar, a pig, an idiot, and a communist, but you are not a porn star. My son may be many things. He may be a liar. He may be a communist. But he's not a porn star. Thank you for the $4.20. Deal, when can we start? Oh, no. Oh, no. And then, like, talk about cocks. Oh, my God. So sometimes you guys will DM me on Instagram, and I will respond to you, because sometimes the shit that you send me is just, I can't help myself but respond. Can't help myself but respond. So, to be honest, I was kind of in, like, a fugue state of emotions earlier this month, so I can't remember exactly why I started talking to this guy on Instagram. But he at some point was like kind of saying the right stuff, because it was like insatiably horny and over the top aggressive and like unhinged in a way that I was like, yo, I'm fucking into this. And then he sent me a video of himself jerking off, and I was like, oh my God, you genuinely have like an absolutely monstrously large porn star dick. And I got to tell from the room that he was in that I was like, I think you're living with your girlfriend's family. Just, you know, intuition, just screaming at me. Just screaming whatever. Who knows what intuition is actually saying. But anyways, he continues his, like, he just, like, sends me, like walls of descriptive text of all the ways that he would just fuck my brains out. And it's, like, fun to imagine this with this, like, guy's porn star dick. But also it's, like, kind of only fun to imagine it. And then he was like, I want to take you out on a date. And I'm like, that's a weird thing for a random stranger on fucking Instagram to say. And then he's like, oh, I want to take you on a date. I live in the GTA. He's like, I live in the greater Toronto area. I was like, oh, no. No! Like, immediately it went from, like, a fun sort of fantasy to, again, that, like, intense fear of, like, oh, no, this guy and this actual, like, monstrously large cock actually wants to come near me and actually kind of wants to do all these things to me. And it's like, it's fun to imagine this because I'm imagining you live, I don't know, in like fucking Kazakhstan or somewhere else in the world. Like you're down in goddamn South Africa or in Brazil like many of you are. But all of a sudden, this guy all of a sudden being like, oh no, I'm like a 35-minute drive from your front door. I'm like, no, dude, no. legitimately your penis is scary big. And now he's just like, nice, don't worry about it, babe. Like, I'm not gonna like tear up your pussy on the first date. I'll let you choke on it first. She's like, oh my god. Oh, wow. Oh, you boys. Is he black by any chance? I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Black men are far more respectful than the degenerate, idiotic, disgusting filth that spews out of white men's mouths. It is genuinely rare for a black guy to be that vulgar with me. They're more often way more respectful, just like baseline. I hope that's not offensive to say or like a weird generalization. It's just my actual experience. Yeah. I'm so sorry if that's awkward. I would also say that Asian men are also like way more polite, way more engaging. But then there's also, yeah, there's lots of white guys who are able to be polite and kind and not just see me as a fucking object. I feel also like a lot of white guys immediately default to you're a goddess or you're like a wet hole. Like, it's just very extreme with white guys. And then I feel like with men of color, it's like you're a person and then we get to role play those things instead of that's the like main in channel. And I wonder if that's because people of color more often are dehumanized and so they're less likely to automatically dehumanize based on looks themselves, or if that's just like a generalization based on the fact that I'm a white woman on the internet. I really have no idea what I'm saying. I hope it's not offensive. I'm really not trying to say anything offensive. I can absolutely foresee something that I'm saying being taken and clipped out of context, and I'm getting severely canceled next week. Oh, no. No, I'm so sorry. I also have no idea what many of you look like. So this is just also based on the fact that I don't know what, like, I'm thinking of all the dick pictures I've ever gotten. And how, like, politely they were, like, given and exchanged and what the circumstances were. Taker approves this message. Praise Jesus. It's because most of us are raised by single mothers. This is so inappropriate. There are lots of people of color who are raised by their fathers. Black men. Okay, but that's also fair. You are also allowed as a black man to be like, my dad was not in the picture. I, as a white woman, wish my fathers were not in the picture. What do you think of cuckolds? I tend not to think of you idiots because you guys are in the chair across the room while I'm getting railed by somebody better in the bed. Gotta be honest, the best dirty talk experience was from a white woman. Interesting. I can also think some things to do with history, and you never will. Why are you shocked by those reactions, like to make strong impressions on guys? Why was I what? Can you be more specific about shocked by which reactions? Hey, sweets. Stepdad, always help. Hello. Oh, no, I have a dad. He was just, like, never with my mom. Oh, I see. Oh, okay, so he was, like, your father, but they was never, like, husband-wifing. I see. And I feel like I had the exact opposite. I feel like I never had a father. There was just, like, the men who were married to my mother. And they were, like, super resentful of the fact that she had kids. And that, like, these children required. My dad... I remember, I think I was, like, a preteen. Like, I might have just, like, turned, like, 11 or 12. And the delight and the joy on my father's face when he got to look down on me and say, you know, you only ever talk to me when you want something. It was like he had, like, found this, like, exquisite shortcut to solving all of his problems of having to be a father. And he would say that and it would make me feel so guilty. It would make me feel so guilty. I'd be like, oh, I'm so greedy. I'm, like, so greedy and I'm so lazy because, like, yeah, apparently I only ever, like, talk to my dad when I need something from him. And now as an adult, I'm like, that's exactly what children do. Children need attention and they need food. They need structure. They need inspiration. They need challenges. They need safety. They need rest. And they can't give a single one of those things to themselves. It is absolutely fundamentally impossible for children to give themselves safety, for children to give themselves inspiration. That's why the story of Matilda is so amazing, because she's like a little girl who did all these things. And I loved Matilda growing up. I felt so, I still feel like I'm Matilda in the fact that the things that I want and the things that I dream and the things that I even think about come true in small ways and in big ways. In the small ways of, like, earlier today, Ritus was talking about how he wanted his Animal Crossing villager to leave the island. And I just thought, well, I want his Animal Crossing villager to leave the island too. And then literally within the hour, the Animal Crossing villager is leaving the island. Like, that's just a coincidence. But it doesn't have to feel like any, like, coincidences can feel like magic. That's allowed. It's allowed to feel like magic. Rich Forever says, I didn't tick any of those in childhood. Anyone else in chat? Rich, yeah. It's why we are the way that we are, Rich. Oh, I love the pink cowboy hat, yeah. I love those coincidences. It feels like magic, and then you realize that it is magic. Those coincidences are magic. There are so many other little bits and pieces that had to fall into place silently and imperceptibly over so many days and hours and months and weeks and minutes and seconds, and tiny moments that we didn't even notice. And all of those things had to happen so that today, on stream, we could talk about, I rejigged my Animal Crossing island and I did this, that, and the other thing, and you go, ugh, I wish this villager would get the fuck off my island, and I go, fuck yeah, get that fucking villager off your island, and all of a sudden the magic worked. And it worked. It just worked. The magic just actually happened. And it feels so good, and it feels so good. I love it. Do you have any resentment towards guys because of that? I recognized from a very, very young age that being bitter is the most unattractive quality in a human person. Brad Pitt is, like, arguably one of the most physically attractive men of our generation. But the bitterness that has been exposed inside of him in his interactions with his ex-wife, the beautiful and elegant Angelina Jolie, is everything I need to know about who I want to be as a person. Relationships are none of our business. Like, even our own relationships are, like, so fucking unknowable to ourselves. So other people's relationships are especially none of our business. But something that is so universal between every single person on this planet is that we're going to get into relationships, and the relationships are going to fall apart. None of us are so special or perfect that every relationship that we have works out perfectly. And who you are when a relationship doesn't work out. Who you are when things fall apart. Sometimes people get bitter. And I watched my dad be so bitter about the divorce from my mother, to the point where my dad couldn't help himself from looking at me and, like, talking to my mother, because I looked just like the spitting image of her. And I very reasonably was like, hey, my boundary, which I have with every person on this planet, is that you are not allowed to shit talk my mother. Psychologists believe, fundamentally, that things that cannot be expressed to our own mothers can never be truly expressed to ourselves. That's how deep and intrinsic the bond between our mothers is, and why those bonds between mother and child are so deserving of respect in every way, whether it was a good or a bad relationship. So with my dad, I was like, I will not tolerate anyone insulting my mother, because it does kind of feel like an insult to me. I look like my mother. I love my mother. I admire her. She inspires me. She created some spaces that were safe for me, and she created some spaces that were nurturing for me. I don't want anyone to insult her, and I think that's a very reasonable boundary to have. Very reasonable boundary. And my father could not maintain it. And so I haven't spoken to my father in 6 years. Not because of any like one specific thing he ever did to me. Not because he and I personally have like any... It's very interesting that we actually have very similar values. And we got along actually quite well for many, many years. It was just that I was like, don't bring up my mother. You can talk about anyone and anything, and I'll be there. I'll be on board with the conversation. Just like leave my fucking mother out of it. And his response was always, no, but you see, the thing about your mother is, and then he would just go right back into it. And it was like, the reality was, I was like, she's not even in the room. Why are we talking about her? I am in the room with you. Why can't you talk to me, right? Moderators, ban that guy who said, he's funny. I don't like that comment. It's not funny. You're a sick individual for having that response. And I'm not saying you're a sick individual because it upsets me that you're making light of a situation which is traumatic for me. I mean it objectively. It is very sick for any human person to listen to instances of abuse and to laugh it off. That's called enabling. It's why fascism is on the rise in our Western society and other places in the world. You are the problem, and it's because you're sick and cowardly. And brave, authentic people will not tolerate sick, cowardly individuals. I just won't. And I recognize that I am brave for showing my face and my legs to you and having these conversations that are emotional and that are real. This isn't just entertainment for the sake of storytelling. These conversations are important because there are people who need to hear these things. And they don't deserve to have the message that I'm giving them be interrupted by some idiotic, toxic loser backsliding further into his own misery. It's just unnecessary. And it's a good time for me to take my next break. BRB, friends. damn it. Well, I probably should have seen that coming. If I update my Instagram story and I'm talking to Mr. Daddy on Instagram, he's going to see that I'm active and he's going to be like, hey girl, why is your pussy not on my lap? So now I get to think about how I'm going to end the sexual liaison that I have begun with a 54-year-old man. These are the good things in life, okay? This is fun. This is a fun thing to think about. I don't need to feel stressed about it. This is not the bad part of the relationship. These are the good parts of the relationship, where you get to like navigate and then feel like you have agency. I love feeling like I have agency. I love. Did I get banned? Am I banned? Nope. Not yet. It just wasn't loading. It just wasn't loaded. Okay, so. Okay, so. I'm going to message Mr. Daddy. I'm going to tell him, no, I didn't forget about you. I've been thinking about you. Okay, that's a good way to start the disengagement, which is the ultimate goal. Okay, yes. Gonna figure out how to disengage from this man, and then that's gonna be fine and dandy. And it's not gonna be the worst case scenario, and it's also not gonna be the best case scenario. It's probably gonna be somewhere in the middle, and that somewhere in the middle is that, I don't know, he might just be like, no, I think we have something nice, but like, whatever. I'm excellent at debating. I feel like it's also very easy just for me to be like, it's February, and like I became single on January 1st, so like, circle back to me in the summer. Maybe I can even just tell, maybe I can just be like, hey, no, that doesn't make any sense. I can't just be like, you should just like message me in 5 months. I don't think that's how desire works. I don't think that's how men work. At that point, you're just kicking the can down the road. Shut up. Shut up with being so right about your... Yes. Yes! Okay, yes. I'm gonna... figure out the words and the way to like put the words together to just I hate it. I hate it. I don't want to do this already. I can feel like more than I can feel the possibility of like getting to the other side of this. The only thing that I really think I'm feeling is just like the anxiety of the unknown. It's just the anxiety of the unknown. And I don't like it. I'm just gonna message him. I'm gonna say, I didn't forget about you. I've been thinking a lot about... No, I don't know what to say. Okay, sorry, panicking. So like trying to relax a little bit because there's no panic right now. You're on stream right now. You're not in the conversation with him. He's not sitting in front of you and he's not asking you for answers right now. Unless he's watching this stream, in which case I'm gonna fucking kill myself in a video game. Or that would be great because then he is sitting in front of me and I can, okay, just say to him, I like that you fucked my brains out on our first date. I thought that was very hot. Oh, wait. Was that first sentence the truth, or was that just something that I said to make sure that I was allowed to actually say the truth afterwards? What was the first? I feel like the first thing I said was a lie, which was that I liked it. I don't like that I fucked him on the first date. I don't like that. I don't. There's no reason to do that. I shouldn't have done that. But I did it. So that's my fault as well. So I don't like it. But it was very hot. It was very hot. And I can recognize that it was very, very hot, but I also was like, you probably shouldn't have fucked him on the first date. And also that I was very angry with his sort of dismissal of my expression of my vulnerability and telling him that, like, I can't see you tonight, my tank is empty. Did not like that. See, this is what I like. I like it when you guys fill my tank. Yes. Is it really so much to ask that you guys just fill my tank? I feel like I fill your tank. This guy's filling my tank. Thank you. And that's a red flag. Oh my God. Thank you. Yes. You made it so obvious to me. And that's such a red flag. Oh, you have a tank? Right, as my love. You're poor masculine war-brained. Not a tank, like a piece of artillery. Fuel tank. Fuel tank. The fuel tank inside of ourselves that fills up with fuel and then is depleted of fuel by use. It's okay, Ritus, but we know how we feel about just making jokes at moments when it's like we're actually talking about something, right? It feels like deflective and rude. Some generic shit. Sprinkle is as much sexy angst as you wish. Oh! Sprinkle in as much sexy angst as you wish. And then he wrote out the whole thing. I appreciate the ChatGPT-like nature of that response. But I also think that finding the right words is the exercise, not saying them to him. And so I can't have you guys give me the right words. Finding the right words is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And so you guys are right that, like, you're trying to find the right words. But I think to be more supportive as an audience and, like, as friends in the position of me going through this, friends, what have you. Oh, yay, look, somebody's actually pulling ahead in the leaderboard. Good for you, demon. Fill my tank. Instead of trying to put the words in my mouth, you can respond as if you were the man on the receiving end of these words. How would it make you feel for me to say, I didn't like that we had sex on the first date, but I agree that it was really hot? It makes me feel angry that when I told you my fuel tank was empty, you asked me for more. I hate Ethel Kane. For 7 months in a row. Just hating Ethel Kane for 7 months in a row. So if I, as a woman, am telling you this because we fucked on the first date and it was really horny and we both had an orgasm, even though you were on a bunch of cocaine and you're 20 years older than me, I can recognize that, like, yes, he and I absolutely had phenomenal chemistry. But I think that's because it's very horny to, like, put myself in that role with him. But outside of that role, I'm like, oh, it's not horny that you just kind of want me to stay in that role, even when I'm like, I can't be in that role right now. I'd be like, oh, okay, so why didn't you bring this up earlier? Flinglish? This is a very common response in emotionally immature people. The reality is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I told you this 48 hours ago. It doesn't matter if I told you this even the second after it happened. That doesn't matter. And trying to recontextualize the issue is a huge red flag. To be honest, that's a red flag of, like, you're kind of an abusive person. To reframe your partner's experience as like, well, why didn't you just tell me this sooner, is putting the blame back on the back on the victim, pardon me, is putting the blame back on the victim. Where it's like, I mean, I didn't know how I felt until I felt it, and I'm telling you my feelings as I'm finding that out as well. I'm not keeping things from you. Also the implication that, like, I had this knowledge and I kept it from you and you're like the bad guy for not knowing sooner is a complete misunderstanding of what this conversation is about, which is another huge red flag. Yeah, you're a bad boyfriend in a very practical sense. You don't need to say any of that. Sorry, I don't think it's going to work. Actually, that's so true, Vaseline. I can literally just say, I'm sorry, I just don't think this is gonna work. Yeah. Oh, I didn't remember the Coke in the initial telling of the story. Anyone who ever says to you, well, why didn't you tell me this sooner, is pulling a deeply manipulative and incredibly inappropriate tactic on you that you are allowed to immediately, like just as I did, say to them. What an inappropriate reframing of this conversation. The blame is not on me for not telling you sooner. The blame is on both of us right now, and you are not you are trying to deflect from any acceptance of yourself. Absolutely. It sounds like the issue isn't entirely that you slept together on the first date, but rather that it seems like it appears that it's all you are to him. Exactly, E-Doobie, exactly. It's not that we fucked on the first date. It's that we fucked on the first date, and now he's like, oh, and all we're ever gonna do is fuck. And it's like, oh, I mean, we had a whole conversation. Do you remember when we were talking like people? I guess he doesn't, because he just wants a picture of me to jerk off to. It sounds like you wanted to set boundaries, and that wasn't communicated. I think being honest with your feelings is the best, as feelings can change over time, but situations that's valid. I feel like Vassal really has the fucking, like, really has it, where it's like, so we met on Tinder, and we started talking. Respectful. Good, both ways. We met for dinner. Good, respectful. Like, had dinner, talked, it was nice. He, like, touched my leg under the table and was really like, tell me if this is okay or not. I don't want you to just sort of go along with things. Like, he did tell me, like, if you feel uncomfortable, let me know. So he set a precedent, which could now be, like, I would feel like, was that future faking? Where he, like, reached out to touch me and be sexual and was like, please let me know if this is okay and when it isn't. Because then I feel like in another similar way, he was reaching out for me on Monday and was like, is this okay? Can we do sex things? And I said to him, no. I said, no, actually, that isn't okay. I'm not into doing those sex things right now. And then his response was to reach out again, which is like, wait, so you didn't actually listen to that no. You're just going right. The no's don't actually mean no. The no's just mean wait 20 minutes and try again for a yes. That's such a huge red flag. That's such a huge red flag. And now it's like, I feel like I can see the future. On our first date, after our first date, I realized that he was on cocaine. That he had gone to the bathroom 3 times that I couldn't think of clearly, remember clearly. But I'd also been drinking. I was drinking. So, like, he could have gone to the bathroom maybe 5 times. Maybe, like, there was 2 times that I wasn't, like, paying attention to or, like, remembering even. He went to the bathroom. He was on cocaine because he was incredibly energetic and incredibly confident. And from that first date, I had this vision that I was like, if we go on vacation together and he even does just like a little bit too much coke, whether he's being polite or kind or respectful or fucking whatever, I'm still gonna be like in a fucking hotel room in a foreign country with a coked up 54-year-old. And I'm just like, I don't know how I feel. I just. And now the knowledge that like I could be in a hotel room with a 54-year-old coked up guy who hears no and goes, it's gonna be a yes the next time I ask, right? Is like so many red flags, Okay. I'm definitely feeling a lot better about just telling him I'm not feeling it anymore. I admit that it was really hot and it was really horny and that we had really great chemistry, and now I'm not feeling it anymore. And if he wants me to explain why, I feel like I can tell him. Now I can tell him, well, when we were on our first date, you made it really apparent to me that my safety and my comfort was paramount to you. But then on Monday when I said my tank is empty, I'm so sorry, please, like I apologized profusely. I didn't need to. I could see myself falling into these sort of like punching bag ways. And I feel kind of guilty because I was like, I wonder how he's going to react to that. I wonder if he's going to tell me, you have nothing to apologize for. You're allowed to feel tired. How can I help you feel better? Or even just, you're allowed to feel tired, you don't need to apologize. But he didn't say any of that. I think he said, it's okay, love, which did make me feel very good. I love being called love, but then also that's not my name. That's not my name, and I don't like it when people use like cutesy pet names to sort of placate me. Not sort of placate me. I don't like it when people use cutesy names to try to manipulate me into placation. He's gonna probe you whatever you say. Okay, yeah. Moderators, can we ban this guy who said, how I gain experience, he do masturbation? I don't want to be rude to people whose English is their second language, but I do want to be rude to children who have wandered in here and don't understand what is happening. Postcoital regret consideration is common, especially while drinking. Saying more has never turned out better for me than less when turning someone down. Bastflem, yo, you're spitting erotic fire. Erotic logical fire to me. Moderators, we need to allow that comment and then like pin it. Sorry just to say, but maybe because of your age, he didn't see you as long-term and just as fun. I mean, yeah, obviously. Yeah. 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 It's a red flag in general if they can't speak their damn mind or be flexible with the person. Yeah, most likely. A pageantry to get what he wanted sounds definitely manipulative, and asking again after a no is a sign down, as a sign of slipping down a slippery slope. Yeah. I'm not getting good feelings from him. And I think I really am allowed to recognize that and like feel that. Yeah. You don't have to explain everything. So he said, did you forget about me? And I'm going to say, oh my God, what am I going to say? Oh God, what am I going to say? He's going to be mad at me? Oh God, if you try to enforce boundaries with people who've already like asserted a sense of dominance over you, oh God, they get so angry at you. I don't want him to be angry at me. I don't want anyone to be angry at me. I just like, immediately I feel the anger like a railroad spike in the center of my brain, down through my, oh hey Thingany, down through my brainstem. Okay, let's do some internal family therapy. Let's remove this man whose image is like so gigantic and overbearing in my mind that's making me feel like I want to shrink and make myself very small and be like nailed down into the ground like a tiny little railroad spike. Let's get rid of him. Let's put somebody else in front of me. Let's pretend that Mr. Daddy is George Clooney. Let's pretend that Mr. Daddy is actually George Clooney. And George Clooney got a hall pass to fuck around. And George Clooney and I went on, this is so much nicer already, mostly because I can already anticipate George Clooney being very magnanimous and being dumped. It feels a lot easier to imagine breaking up with George Clooney than it does with Mr. Daddy, who, like, really grabbed my head and fucked my throat and said, yeah, baby, you're mine. Which is, like, intimidating, and it's, like, it puts your body into the state of, like, pardon me, I'm using the word like so often because I'm obviously talking about some really crazy shit. It already put me in a state of submissiveness, which means that I want to even submit to him in rejecting him, which is incongruent. I cannot submit to him in rejecting him. I need to anticipate rejecting him as a peer, as George Clooney, my peer. George, I recognize that we had fun together. It felt wonderful in the moment. Thinking about the time that we spent together made me feel that that was all we needed. and all I need. Goodbye. Some of that was okay. Some of that was okay, right? So much easier picturing George Clooney. So much easier saying all this to George Clooney. I don't know why, but talking to George Clooney and starting by just saying George is because George is not an inherently sexy name, which is very strange for how sexy George Clooney is. I especially love George Clooney because his aunt, Rosemary Clooney, was also an actor. And she's in one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time, White Christmas. And she's so incredibly beautiful. And I also love the name Rosemary. Like, if I had a daughter, I might name her Rosemary. Because I think it's such a beautiful name. Love grows where my rosemary goes. George Clooney has probably been dumped a lot. And also dumped other people as well. Yeah, it happens a lot in relationships and in life. If you were dating George Clooney, would you call him George Clooney? Apparently his nephews do. His nephews call him George Clooney. I would absolutely not. I would look him in the face and I would say, Rosemary Clooney's nephew. I would say, oh, the handsome nephew of the stunningly beautiful, incredibly talented, classically gorgeous, and Venus-esque Rosemary Clooney. I'd put him in his fucking place, which is the nephew of a better woman. Sorry, no offense, George. All we needed and all I needed is a nice phrasing. If Mr. Daddy can't accept being dumped, that's on him. Block his butt and then move forward. Very true, Full English, very true. If George was 6'5", he would be my screensaver. I really don't give a fuck about how tall people are. I've actually kind of realized that being too tall is kind of a detriment because I went on a date on Sunday with a very, very sweet, kind man named Batman. And Batman is 6'8" tall, and the poet is under 6 feet. And so, like, there's no, I don't have any sort of fear of being hurt by the poet ever, like, even by accident. I don't think he could hurt me even by accident. He's just, like, he's got great proprioception, he's very present, and also he's under 6 feet tall, and I'm under 6 feet tall, but Batman is 6'8", and he is so big that he could hurt me by accident. Because I've been with guys who are very big and they have hurt me. Although that's the thing that, like, I think I'm specifically thinking of Mr. Touchy-Feely. Mr. Touchy-Feely Mr. Touchy-Feely did a lot of things that I think really fucked me up. Which is, number one, why I still feel, like, deeply aroused at the idea of him showing up and fucking my brains out. Because it's also really intrinsically tied with a bunch of, like, terrifying feelings. Like, Mr. I know, Mr. Touchy-Feely scared me. This is what's so important to recognize about myself, is that Mr. Touchy-Feely made me genuinely afraid that he was going to show up in the middle of the night and kick in my door, and he was big enough to actually do it. And that genuine fear for my life does get mixed up with sexual feelings, because there is a fucking hyperspeed train link called shame between fear and arousal. I'm not a huge fan of any of this, but I am, like, the more I recognize it, the less I have to be a slave to it. So, Mr. Touchy-Feely really made me very aware of how scary big men actually are to me. And so it's difficult now not to be like, oh my god, you're so big, you might actually hurt me by accident, because I've had big guys hurt. I mean, Mr. Touchy-Feely literally told me that he liked it, that I was like, your dick is too big, and it hurts. It hurts for you to fuck me. Because he was like, oh, other girls are fine with it, other girls have taken it, no problem. And I'm like, well then go fuck those other girls, I'm not those other girls. And then he was like, it turns me on that it hurt you. I was like, that's so fucked up, you're so fucked up. And then there is a part of me that's like, and it arouses me so much that you're being honest with me about, like, what an unhinged, unapologetic monster you are. Because part of me still feels like I deserve to be a victim. It's the unhealthy part of me. It's the, like, sick, twisted, like, throw yourself off a building, rip open the emergency exit on the plane, stand up and start fingering your asshole in church version of myself. It's the big antisocial version of myself. It's the rejection of every part of society version of myself. And it is enticing to watch other people do that. So we were talking about narcissists earlier, and somebody in chat was even just like, what do you think of streamer drama that's going on? Because I really felt like this streamer was one of my best friends. I really felt like we connected on a friendship level. I really felt like we connected on a sexual level. I also felt like we connected on a professional level, and I saw him as a professional mentor. And I was really in love with him. I was really, really in love with him. And when I say I was in love with him, I really mean in love. Like, my love for this man made me feel like a better person in every single way. And so, like, having our relationship, having that love, and having that relationship change because of things that I don't even understand, just makes me feel like I just don't understand. I have so much difficulty placing and feeling my own feelings, and now I have to try to understand my feelings for a man that I loved for years. And now I think like the hardest part about it is I feel like I've been treating him the same, and he's treating me differently now. And I am trying to be mindful of, well, his situation is different. His situation is different. Of course, he's going to be treating me differently. He is feeling different things. So is he treating me differently? Is he talking to me in this way because I was only ever just a fuck toy, a prop, a punching bag, like whatever? And is he an irredeemable narcissistic monster who doesn't care about other people and is completely lacking in empathy? Or is he a sensitive person who is going through a difficult time and is responding like any normal human would, which is to say by drawing in, drawing back, and making themselves smaller? I've done that myself. So like when you ask me like, what do you think about the drama that's going on? I don't think any of us can think about it right now. I think it's happening. I think what we need to do is feel. And what we're all feeling right now is very confused. So I think I feel the same way you feel. I also want you guys to recognize that I went to his house in May and I had sex with him. And while we had sex, I grabbed my phone and I recorded us having sex. I didn't tell him while we were fucking, but I did record us having sex because I wanted to play it back myself and I wanted to share it with him as well. And then when I came back to Canada, I told him, I recorded us having sex. Do you want it? And he's like, yeah. And I sent it to him, and it was like a nice thing that we shared with each other. But I also recognized that I recorded him without his consent. I did the same thing that now he's being punished for. I did that. And I don't like how that makes me feel about myself, because I'm in control of I can't control what he does. I have no idea what he's going to do, but I know that I did that. And my reasoning for doing it was because I wanted to try something new, because I felt like we loved each other and that we could trust each other. But then I also did it because I knew that if I did it and he was mad about it afterwards, he would forgive me. Because I would delete it and I would apologize. And I wouldn't have done anything with it. So I did something that was very similar to what he did. And imagine if you got hacked and it got out. Well, that's really the thing, Brandon, as well. That would be okay with me. I don't know if it would be okay with him, but I put him in a situation where if it wasn't okay with him, I victimized him, absolutely. Every picture that I take, every recording that I make, everything that I put onto my phone, everything that I say in my text messages, everything that I say in my DMs to every single person that I speak to, I do it. And I make the decision to do it with the knowledge that this could be taken out of context, this could be screenshotted, this could be shared, this could go so far and wide. My future children could see this, my future employers could see this, everyone could see this. My grandparents could rise from the dead at the second coming of Christ, whip open the internet and see my butthole if I take a picture of it and I share it with the wrong person and they like share it with somebody else, or they get hacked or what have you, right? And that's all of us all the time need to be cognizant of that. But I knew that and I understood that because my dad really like hammered into us from a young age that he was like, once something is out on the internet, it will never be under your control again. The fucking millisecond you put something on the internet, it is so far beyond your control entirely. Absolutely. And my dad really like hammered that into us as kids forever and ever and ever. But other women, especially other young women, didn't have their dads hammering that into their heads. But what they do have is, you guys saw earlier today, you saw the panic that I was experiencing. I even said out loud, panic, panic, panic. That I was having at trying to break up with a man that I've gone on one date with. Like, you saw the panic that arose in me for that very simple, easy fucking deal. And I'm just sitting in the comfort of my own Twitch stream talking to you guys about this. When you're face to face with a man and you can see what he wants from you, and you know that being good, you know that being a good girl for this man is going to feel so good in your nervous system. It overwhelms your reason and you do things that you regret. And I feel very happy and I feel very lucky that the things that I regret are mostly not on camera and are not recorded anywhere and are not going to haunt me in perpetuity. I don't know what the point I'm trying to make is. I'm just like remembering all the times that I was talking with my streamer friend. And he was like, send me, like, I love this about you and I love that about you and I want this about you and I want that about you. And the desire to like send him photos of myself in like very, very sexually compromising ways was so strong. But there was something that held me back from doing it. And truthfully, without exaggeration, what was holding me back is that I was like, this guy is a target of constant like break-ins and hacks. Like, he has been reported to the FBI. He has enemies all over the fucking place. Like, the chances of him being hacked and having all of his shit leaked is actually really fucking high, as it is for any Twitch streamer. And so ABBA on YouTube did a video about burning the bridge. I really liked watching ABBA's video. I've never seen any of his content before. I don't know him personally. But I really liked his video and I felt like, I'm gonna burst into tears right now. Nope, you're not. You're gonna hold it together. You're on stream. I felt like I really resonated with a lot of the things that he was saying. In particular, that he has sympathy for people when tragic things happen, when genuine circumstances of life are unfair, but he doesn't have sympathy for people when the inevitable happens. And I always knew that like if you have a reputation of being a womanizer and also being hardcore into media, then you're gonna have a treasure trove of media of these women. And that's so tempting. It's like having a dragon's hoard of gold and then expecting dwarves to not come in and try to snatch at it. I don't know, guys. This is I don't want to deal with this. I don't know how to deal with this. I feel so like sick and ashamed even talking about it on stream, because I tried to talk with my friend about this in private and I didn't get much of a response from him, which felt really bad, because on one side I'm like, are you discarding me because I was never anything more than just like a fat ass and a wet hole for you to fuck? Or are you going through something so intensely difficult that what I'm doing is making it worse? Because I don't want it to be worse, but I also, I felt like I really tried in my messages to him to say my feelings and to not accuse him of anything, because I'm not here to accuse anybody of anything, but I do need to share my feelings with my friend. And I felt like when I shared my feelings with him, he was not responsive. When I talked to the poet about this, because the poet knows him as well, the poet like laughed on our first date, which kind of happened before all of this really came to light. And he was like, of course, that's like the only streamer that you're friends with, of course. And I was like, and of course you know him, of course. That's how well known he is. And so when I like described my conversation between my streamer friend to the poet was like, he sounds like he's being dismissive. And I don't like that. I don't want to agree with him. I think there's a perspective where my streamer friend's messages could be seen as dismissive unintentionally. But I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's not being dismissive of my feelings. He's going through his own incredibly difficult time. And the fact that he wasn't open and receptive to my feelings does not mean that he's a bad person. It's very difficult to be like, well, that's true, but then it's also true that it hurts to express your feelings to a friend and have them respond with, I see. It's a lot. It feels like way too much, John. It feels like too much. Thank God my kitty's... Oh! Thank God my wet pussy's here to distract us. Did you guys see the incredible amount of liquid that came out of that kitty's mouth? She's a very drooly kitty. Very drooly cat. I think there's tons of good reasons for him not to respond to me in the way that I wanted him to respond. First and foremost, I don't always get what I want. Like, number one, he doesn't fucking owe me a response. He could have just said nothing. He could have just ignored me as well. I have no idea what I truly have no idea what he's going through. And maybe I'm being a bad friend in that I didn't even ask him. I just was like, here's what I'm feeling. Is she an all-black cat? She has like 6 little white hairs on her chest. And in the sunshine, you can see she's kind of like russet colored. So sweet. I really love my cat so much. I love her so much. You're my best friend, kitty. And I love you. I love you, kitty. My sweet kitty. Oh, my goodness gracious. When I was 18, I worked at summer camp. And one night, the head counselor said, there are no activities after dinner tonight. Everyone needs to go into their cabins and stay in their cabins. And we were in our cabins, and because I really excelled with the youngest kids, I was always in charge of the youngest of the young kids. I was there with the like fucking single digit campers who needed to have like the poo scooped out of their fucking sleeping bags and would have like, they needed to be like rocked to sleep and like sung lullabies and stuff. I was like always with the youngest kids. And my cabin was closest because we're the youngest cabin. We're the closest to the center of camp because you want to have the youngest kids closest to the center of camp. They're the ones who need the most care and the most everything. So I felt so scared and so confused when I saw the police cars driving down the camp road. It was like seeing a 20-foot tall flaming tiger walk towards you. It was like, oh, do you guys know, like in Pokemon, when they do the Gigamaxing, or the Maxamaxing, or the Megamaxing, I forget exactly what it's called. But you know in Pokemon, where they like gigantize themselves and they get like extra powerful. It was like seeing, I almost said Gardevoir. I don't mean Gardevoir. I mean, I'm so sorry. I'm having like an emotional response to the story. And so I can't remember the name of the Pokemon, of the flaming dog Pokemon who is Officer Jenny's companion. So like, imagine like a gigantic one of those walking down the road towards you. That's what it felt like. When we saw the police, Growlithe, thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, Growlithe. Yes, it was like seeing a 20-foot tall Growlithe walking down the road towards you. And I felt really, really teeny tiny in my cabin. Thank you. Felt really teeny tiny in my cabin, which is crazy because I was like surrounded by fucking kids and they are also even smaller. And so it was like I turned into like a Polly Pocket and all the kids turned into grains of sand. And the police came to the summer camp that was like my happy place. Like literally the happy, safest place I'd ever experienced in my entire life, being raised in abuse and neglect. Camp was my happy place. And watching the police cruisers pull up, why did they have their lights flashing? Oh my God, I'm 34 years old. This happened when I was 18. Did they have their lights flashing? Or did I just... Because as a 34-year-old adult woman, I'm like, there's no way they had their lights flashing. But as an 18-year-old remembering this, I'm like, their lights were flashing. I saw the lights flashing from the cabin, even with the windows closed on the cabin. Because I think it might have rained that afternoon. And the cops came and they arrested the cook. And they arrested the cook because one of our fellow counselors found the camera that he put in the shower. I can't. It's the only thing that I want to do is just go hug each and every one of those kids. And I'm one of those kids. I was only 18. I never went back to camp. That was my last summer. I could never go back after that. We finished like the year and there was like a legal proceeding against him. I have no idea what the outcome of that was. But a lot of us never went back to camp and it fucked us up. It fucked us up so much. He put a camera in the staff shower. And like, I'd had sex with my boyfriend in that shower. So I had a camp boyfriend. I'd showered in that shower. Like I can remember coming and like getting into the shower with my life jacket on and my bathing suit on because I was so cold from sailing. And then getting naked in that shower. And like that was on camera for him. And we were talking about the things that happen when you put things on the internet. And it's difficult not to think, like, what if those videos are out there forever? And then it's so difficult because I'm 34 now. I'm 34 now. This was decades ago. I've had years to get over this. But then my friend is accused of doing the same thing. And it's like, I'm 18 years old and I'm back at summer camp. And then the feeling of like, being like, oh my God, I just want to run away again. I just want to run away from this. I don't want to have to deal with this. I don't want to have to deal with the fact that my friend could have done something like this. Whether he did or not, who knows? I have no fucking clue. Just the idea of it, just like the idea of having anal sex with a 6'8" tall man. Just like the idea of that is terrifying. Just the idea. Just the idea that your friend could have recorded people without their consent. The idea of it feels scary and terrible. And part of being mindful is taking these scary and terrible ideas and feelings and sitting with them. And then, yeah, recognizing that having your intimate moments and having your intimacy shared further than what you feel comfortable with is so violating every time. Is it okay if I call something out because I see it? I feel like if your instinct is to test the waters with what you want to share, I'm going to say that I might not be in a very receptive. I feel like you're going to tell me something that I'm going to have a strong emotional reaction to and have to practice mindfulness around. And I feel like in this moment, I'm already doing that. And to do more of it feels like more than I can handle right now. I already feel like I'm trying to be really mindful and very, like, level-headed about something that, to be honest, makes me want to fucking kill myself. In a video game, pardon me, please don't ban me, but, like, by the time a woman is of university age, so in her early 20s, there's a 1 in 4 chance that she has been raped. And what feels so frustrating is that once you've been a victim of sexual assault, the damage that it does to you psychologically makes you more prone to be re-victimized and another victim of sexual assault. And so it isn't just that when I was 18, somebody recorded me without my permission in my intimate moments. It's that I need to worry about being 38. And what if somebody records me in my intimate moments without my permission? What if I find out that when I was 28, a partner recorded me without my permission? It's not just that I was sexually assaulted, or I was sexually harassed, or I was raped. It's that it happened in the past, and the possibility of it happening in the future is never entirely gone, which makes it feel terrifying and inescapable, which is just straight up traumatic. It's hard for it not to be traumatic. There's no escaping. Okay. Is there any difference in how you felt in the summer camp then and how you feel now? Huge differences, of course. I was very young before, and I'm older now, so the feelings feel different. Thank you, John. Brandon says, I'm not here to antagonize you. I don't know what it's like to have a personal relationship with him, but the public information is enough to say that Brandon says, I can't even, please don't make me say these words. Sorry. Please don't make me say these words. I don't feel comfortable or able to say that I've had sex with somebody who's done these things because it makes me feel like I'm a monster. Oof. I can't like remove those tangles right now, especially not on stream. Snuck says, Stream Elements didn't like this comment, but Snuck said, I think the biggest issue for me is that he hasn't acknowledged fully how much he fucked up. I get that he can't because of pending legal issues, but it leaves everyone, especially the victims, wondering if this guy was completely different than what he's perceived as. I think that people are right to assume that he is saying as little as possible to err on the side of caution because of the legal issues. I also just don't know what else to say. I never thought I'd be happy to see somebody talking about my shoes. My shoes are cute as fuck. Brandon says, I personally don't think of you any differently because of your past relationship with him. And I want to scream in your face. I think of myself differently because of my relationship with him. How can I not think of myself differently because of my relationship with him? there were times when he and I were together, and I felt like I understood that he is the kind of person to ask for forgiveness more than permission, which then gave me the feeling that in my interactions with him, I should do what I do, and then if it wasn't okay, then ask for forgiveness. That was the precedent that I felt intrinsically with him for every moment of our friendship. And that was made very apparent to me at TwitchCon in 2019 when he said, yes, let's stay together. It's going to be great. I can't wait to get my hands on you. I can't wait for us to do these things together. I can't wait for us to have time together at TwitchCon. And when I opened the door, he was standing there with his future wife. And he hadn't told me. He had an opportunity to tell me that Melina was going to be there. He could have said, Melina and I are on the plane. Melina and I are in the Uber. Melina and I are on the way. But he didn't tell me. He let me open the door. He let all three of us make eye contact. And he assumed that we would either be cool with it or he would just deal with the explosive fallout, no matter what it was. And I felt very frustrated because I would have been a lot more cool with it if I had known what I was opening the door to. It took me time to then get okay with it. It's that night I cried myself to sleep in our Airbnb. I could hear them talking through the wall in their bed together, and I felt like such a fucking retard. I felt like the stupidest, most retarded, idiotic bitch on the planet, laying in an Airbnb with him and Melina as like this like weird third wheel or like an extra set of holes to fuck around with if they got bored or wanted a distraction. I didn't know what my purpose was in that moment. And so I just decided that I was just gonna do whatever made me feel good. And I was gonna do whatever I wanted. And so the next night, I got out of my bed and I opened their door and I said, hey, I'm getting into bed with you. And I got into bed with them and the three of us spooned and it was awful. It was terrible. It made Melina feel awful about herself because she also was like, who the fuck is this brunette bitch? She had every right to feel like, who the fuck is this brunette bitch? I feel so disgusting and so guilty for the way that Melina and I interacted with each other because I feel like it was deeply out of character for both of us. I actually spent tens of hours and hundreds of dollars in therapy talking about how fucked up I felt being in a personal love triangle between the three of them. But I also don't think it was their fault at all. I don't blame him. I don't blame her. I'm an adult. They didn't trick me. They didn't hornswoggle me. Like, I knew what was going on. I was going to therapy and I was talking about it. And I needed to. I needed to recognize that, like, there's things in this relationship that I enjoy. I am getting something from this. Even if it's not always good, even if it's bad. I'm kind of addicted to the bad as well. I felt a really undeserved, smug sense of satisfaction that I was able to come onto stream and not let it seep out. I felt really, really good that I was able to come onto stream and say nice things about their relationship, even though privately I was like, all of this is terrible. All of this is terrible. And what I was doing was enabling a bad relationship that ultimately really hurt Melina. But also, I wasn't responsible for Melina. I can't be responsible for her either, or her feelings. Oh, and that's exactly right, Gray. And I hurt myself, and first and foremost, I was hurting myself. I was just hurting myself so much by putting myself into a triangle with these people who were on the other side of the planet in a completely different country and who were going through their own things. Like, it's so inappropriate for me to even insert myself in it. Oh, thank you so much. Right Wanting says, this is raw as hell, and the fact that you're willing to share some of your feelings with us is a lot, and I just want to say that I appreciate it. This is a lot. This is a lot. I might regret being this vulnerable. I might regret being this candid, especially if the things that I have said are going to be taken out of context or clipped or used against me. It's absolutely possible that I'm going to regret the decisions that I made right here, right now. But what I know for a fact is that these feelings are true. I have not said anything that isn't the truth inside of myself to you right now. And so if I look back on it and I go, yeah, that was the truth then, and now I have perspective now, and this is the truth now, I feel like I can be truthful in every moment of myself, even if I don't need to be perfect in every moment of my feeling, if that makes sense. I don't know who that person is. I'm talking about my friend Melina. Theodore says, I've never seen situations like that pan out well. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. We have. We absolutely have. It's just that those situations that pan out well don't usually, like, make news. They're just part of the beautiful, exquisite tapestry of life. That's very true as well. You know what, Ritus? That makes me feel so much better. It makes me feel so much better, Ritus. Yeah. If I ever feel like I did say too much, if I ever feel like I'm like, I was being too candid, I was being too honest, or like I don't want you guys to see me cry. I am allowed to delete the VODs. I am allowed to delete the VODs. That's true. He 100% left the door open. What do you mean, John? In which way? I fell for this girl who's in a long-distance relationship. I did everything I could to be around her more. I watched myself cross my own boundaries. I communicated to her that I really fell for her to try to, like, absolve myself of wrongdoing, and in the end I had to remove myself from the relationship. I don't know why I'm sharing this. I just am. Because we grow. Because we do things that feel right in the moment, and then we grow, and then we look back and we go, I probably shouldn't have done that, but I still feel right about, like, that was right then, and this is right now. And right now I feel weird and gross about the things I did in the past. But did you enjoy that night? Because if you did, feeling bad about it after the fact is kind of void. Daddy Deep, I would always caution anyone who tries to express the idea that they know which feelings are valid and which feelings are invalid. That doesn't exist. There's no such thing as an invalid feeling. There are definitely invalid arguments, like yours, what you just said. You have no evidence of the worth of my feelings. So because you have no evidence of the worth of my feelings, we can dismiss your assertion of the value of my feelings with as much evidence, which is zero. Thank you. Thank you. I came into the middle of the conversation. What were you experiencing? I'm gonna go ahead and say that if you're in the middle of the conversation, the best way to get context is by listening, not by taking over the conversation. Yeah. True, but you wouldn't be the person without your mistakes. I did stuff too. There aren't necessarily mistakes, it's lessons. If you go ice skating and you slip and you land on your ass on the ice, did you make a mistake, or is that just part of the lesson of ice skating? I did stuff too that I would not do again. It helped me understand why some things are bad. Yes, because you get the lesson. You get the lesson from the negativity, which means it wasn't a mistake. It was a valuable experience. And mistakes are not always valuable experiences. But valuable experiences are always, lessons are always valuable experiences, rather. The only mistake going forward, I mean, let's take a second. Let's just relax a little bit and let's breathe in for 4 and breathe out for 4. Okay, now let's breathe in for 5 and breathe out for 5. No matter what happens going forward, the feeling that my friend gave me that asking for forgiveness is preferable to asking for permission is not my value. That's intrinsically not my value. I value people who ask permission. In reading Ramani Dursavula's book, It's Not You, Identifying and Healing from Narcissistic People, she gives an example of one of her clients who, in her process of reclaiming herself, her authentic self, she said to a friend, no, actually, it's not okay that your husband invites himself and his friends on our girls' weekend that we've planned for weeks. We had a plan that it was just going to be a girls' weekend, and he's not welcome. Because what she valued was the time that she wanted to have with her friends. That's what she valued. And she could recognize that her friend values her husband's desires and wants and needs, but also that her friend should value her wants and needs just as much, especially when it comes to the time they spend together. And her friend actually said, you know what, thank you for reminding me that, yeah, this is a girls' weekend. I'm going to tell them that they're not going to come. Thank you. She was appreciative of it. She was like, you know what, actually, you're reminding me of my values by sticking to your values. I don't know what this guy in chat is trying to say. His statement is very confusing. It was too long for Stream Elements to allow anyways, but it also feels like word salad. It feels like he didn't really say anything. What I'm trying to say is that intrinsically, I can recognize that the value of asking for forgiveness over permission is not in line with my values. It's just not. It's just not. I prefer to be with somebody who would ask my permission than ask for my forgiveness. And so that's how I feel, and that's the truth of it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, I think that this guy is so funny, so immature. This guy is like trying to define whose feelings are valid and whose feelings aren't valid. And on top of that, he's trying to be given special permission to do it. He's like, first of all, I shouldn't have to obey the rules, and second of all, everyone should be obeying my rules. This man is literally the definition of narcissism. Daddy Deep, how do you feel about being the perfect example of narcissism in this moment? Now, we can predict how his response will be based on his narcissism. He is not going to accept my assessment. He is going to continue defending his perspective in a way that he feels is logical, but we all ultimately realize has no basis in objective reality. What an amazing stream today, wow. I prefer asking permission and then giving my forgiveness anyways. Cam Weezy, you horny bastard. Oh, what? You were fine. I think it was read wrong. She has a lot to read. Did I misread? That's very, I apologize. Missing a conjugation, missing punctuation, missing a single word. I'm so sorry. I do that all the time. I do that all the time, and I apologize all the time for it. I'm so sorry. Yes, sometimes I'll misread what somebody's comment is, and they'll say, wow, you look great today, and I'll misread it entirely and get really angry at a compliment. I apologize. That happens. Oh, your shoes look so cozy, though. They are. Right wing. Sorry, not right wing. Oof, pardon me. Right wanting, which kind of, you know. Relationships are all about give and take. I really want Thai food all of a sudden. I wonder what that's about. Which sounds generic, but we gotta be able to communicate this stuff in order to grow or maintain. Why do people sometimes feel so entitled that everyone must agree with what they want to do? I just had that experience last night. Bad Keith Gaming, I encourage you to read Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Many of us were raised by emotionally immature parents, and that means that there are many people who are emotionally immature themselves. What you're describing is emotional immaturity. Somebody with emotional maturity is able to feel, ugh, that makes me feel so uncomfortable. I really dislike how that person is doing that thing. I fucking hate it even. But I'm comfortable with them doing it, and I'm comfortable with it happening because I understand where my emotional boundaries are. But people without emotional maturity have no fucking clue where their emotional boundaries are, and so their feelings become everybody else's problem. It's very clear once you start to recognize it, you recognize it everywhere. It's, what's that, like, you're on a bus and you start seeing buses everywhere effect? He responded. Wait, no, he responded. He said, okay, I can deal with a lot. I just don't like algorithms controlling me. You can probably find my original paragraph. I read your original paragraph and it was word salad. You said nothing in a paragraph of words that asserted any evidence or logical reasoning. And again, it's because you're coming from a place of not understanding your own emotional reaction to somebody else's feelings, and so you're trying to exert control over my feelings, but that's illogical, which is why you are coming across as a narcissistic person. It's not logical. It seems self-centered in a way that makes you seem narcissistic. A lot of people never grew out of the tantrum, gets me what I want stage of life. Absolutely, correct. I don't trust anybody with my feelings. It sounds like you don't even trust yourself with your feelings. The algorithms are controlling me. It's also not the algorithms that are controlling you. We already explained to you that it's my boundary, how people communicate with me through chat. What you're bumping up against is my boundary. It's not an algorithm. It's not an AI. It's not some sort of unknowable imaginary wall. We're telling you, you must be succinct and you must be logical in what you're typing in my chat. You must either be entertaining or you must be engaging. And if you don't do that, you're not allowed to talk. Seems pretty clear. Seems kind of obvious. But what do I know? I just have my ass out on the internet. Frequency. Oh, it's the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. Thank you. It's not the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is like to do with intelligence and the smarter you are. And yeah. It's the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. Correct. Harry John for the win. Woo! Oh no, actually it was UFC Timmons who got it first. Frequency illusion, also known as the Bader-Meinhof. Exactly. Yes. So once you know what a narcissist is, you start seeing them everywhere. They're not as rare as you think they are. Narcissistic personalities are quite common, actually. Maybe like 1 in 4, 1 in 6. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your comment. I encourage you guys to copy and paste what you said if you want me to answer it. Awesome sauce, you're okay, baby boy. Send me a picture of your penis. This isn't your Substack chat. I don't know what Substack is, but I know that it's not my chat. Is that where you put your technical notes for coding? Is that, I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know what coding is. But that's kind of what I'm assuming it is based on the context of what I've heard it used as. Is being coherent a requirement? You either need to be entertaining, engaging, or coherent, okay? Pick one. If you're gonna be incoherent, you better be entertaining. Can you call me a loser, please? No, you haven't given me enough money yet. I'm sorry, is this not my Christian Minecraft server? Oh my god, we found Dana's alt account. Are you one? Am I a narcissist? No, I am not a narcissist. I am not a narcissist. I do not expect people to treat me in a special way that I don't deserve. I expect that I put 150% into everything that I do, and that I should get 50% back from you. At least. Oh, it's Adrian Malkovich, and you're here for 4 months. Hooray. Is it Bader-Meinhof? Bunch of batters in here. I'm not saying you should do this, chat, but, you know, being subscribed won't limit your dumbass's paragraphs. Wait, if you subscribe, you can type more things. That's good. So you establish that you value asking for permission more than somebody who would rather ask for forgiveness. So how do you make use of this in relationship to your friend? I feel like he ended our relationship with the way that he communicated with me. And so now I feel like we don't have any relationship at all anymore. Which makes me feel very sad. I feel grief. I'm just like grieving a friendship that I had now, because I don't think that it's going to be able to continue in the way that it was, because it's changed now. I have no idea what's going to happen in the future. Maybe in the future he will bring forth evidence, like clear and bountiful evidence that he did nothing wrong and that he has been a victim in all this. Who fucking knows? And then in the future, I will deal with that. Who knows? But I can definitely recognize that in this moment, I don't feel like my friend is my friend right now. Which makes me feel sad. Yeah, right, as I think it's time now. That last comment from this guy is very uncomfortable. I feel like I've been quite tolerant of his shortcomings for quite a long time. I feel like you've been excessively tolerant of his shortcomings for quite a long time. Yeah. What's a batter or baiter? I don't know. What's a baiter with you? I'm sorry. It's so dumb. So dumb. We've both been very patient. You're drawing that line, so this is by your choice and your decision. And also with the knowledge that I have, like, I still feel like I'm trying to be a good friend to him in the ways that I feel like I can be. And I hope that he's not mad at me. Like, I don't want him to be mad at me. I don't want him... The idea of him... Like, the idea of him watching me sit on my stream and say things that hurt his feelings make me want... I don't like that. That's not who I want to be. I don't want to be a bad friend to him. And, like, number one, I don't want to be a bad friend to him. Regardless of, like, what he's gonna do and what he has done. What a day. Oh, my mods are very, very in tune with my thoughts and feelings, to the point where it's like they can predict what I want before I even have to say it, which makes me feel like that's like those are healthy relationships where we can anticipate each other's thoughts and feelings. And I've had that with a lot of my moderators, and it's not always good. Like with Abdullah, I remember one time with Abdullah, I actually said something very cruel about where he lives. And I could immediately feel like I had overstepped and I had really done something very inappropriate. And I jumped into my DMs with him and I was like, hey, can we talk? Because I get the feeling that I have an apology to give you and an apology for you to decide whether you want to accept or not. And that's what I love about all of my friendships. Like my true friendships, is that we can come to each other and say, I think I fucked up. I think I did a bad thing. I think there's bad feelings because of my actions. And then my friendships are ones where we can go, the bad feelings are part of the friendship. The bad feelings are not wrecking anything other than perhaps contributing to the positive disintegration of a false structure. Oh my god, what a year! And it's only February 5th. Oh, I know, yes. V and her mods have to be drift compatible, exactly. Actually, it is the Battermine phenomenon. I see, yeah. And then there's Ghost Baby, who has never done anything wrong ever. I feel like you've never sent me enough jerk-off videos. And I feel like I've been such a good girl. I feel like I'm such a good girl. I deserve all the jerk-off videos. I'm taking those bad feelings as learning moments. They're lessons, exactly. The bad feelings are lessons. They don't need to be devastating mistakes. I'm not good enough for your jerk-off videos. Honestly, hot. Hot. Ghost Baby, I feel like I met your spiritual twin in The Poet. This guy, he was spooning me. He was touching my pussy so delicately with literally just like the very tip of his fingertip. and he had his mouth right up in my ear, and he was saying, I'm barely touching you, V. V, I'm barely touching you. V, I'm barely even touching you, V. Oh, V, I'm barely even touching you. And I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm literally gonna die. This is, like, my whole body was shaking. Outrageous. Oh, Legos. Oh, I love Legos. Yeah, my Legos. Yeah, there's lots of Legos, actually. I keep forgetting. I have all these Legos. And then I'm like, we're gonna play with these Legos on stream. It's gonna be real fun. And I always forget. Is that one of his poems? If this guy doesn't write a book called The Easiest Cum I Ever Fingered Out of a Bitch, poems inspired by V, he's doing it wrong. He's doing it wrong. I love my Legos. They're all upside down. I'm holding them all upside down. Wait, hold on. This way is nice. Yes. And this way also is nice. Yes. And this way is nice. Yes. Were these also Christmas gifts? Yeah. Kinda. Yeah. Me and my various Legos. I'm realizing that 1,000% on the spectrum, everyone jerking off, and I'm like, oh, Legos. Rightus, you, I think it's also just fair that you might not be sexually attracted to me, which statistically must be possible. There's gotta be someone. And so me doing sexually attractive things isn't stimulating you in the same way that me doing, like, fun and exciting things, like building Lego, stimulates you. Literally anything is possible. There have to be people who are not attracted to me. It's for real. Hello, VV. And we found that one person who isn't sexually attracted to you. I cannot relate, says Prehistoric Ham. Are you sexually attracted to me? Do you want to tear off my little shorts and see what's underneath? What if it was more shorts? What if I was a never nude and there was, like, denim shorts underneath? Legos have literally a sensual pleasure when they're put. I love Lego. I love Lego. Ooh, I like Bionicle more than Lego. This is absolutely allowed. It's just shorts all the way down. It's just all shorts all the way down. Yay! Maybe tomorrow we can build some Lego. What's tomorrow, Thursday? Wait a minute. I might have therapy tomorrow. I think there's a very real possibility that I might have a therapy session tomorrow, which would actually be kind of great because I could definitely use some fucking therapy. But then on Friday is cosplay day. Oh shit. Can you guys gift me, what's that? Like, I can't do numbers. I don't know. 40. Okay, so 48 to 58 would be 10. And then I need 21 gifted subs, and I need it in 2 minutes. Thank you. I did it. Oh, I did it. Okay, good. I'm very tired. I'm very tired, and I'm also very horny. I'm not very smart, but I don't need to be, because I got perfect tits and a real sensitive pussy that you barely even need to touch to absolutely make me go fucking crazy, if you know how to barely even just touch it. Wait, why did that get deleted? Are you asking why your mean comment was deleted even after I responded to it? Because you're being mean, you idiot. Don't be mean. There's no reason for you to be mean when I'm sitting here being nice and talking to you. Let's listen to Sam Dog. 2 beetles are born as brothers. One travels the world, makes friends, and is an inspiration to insects. The other doesn't. He was the lesser of 2 weevils. So, my God, Sam Dog. Oh my God. Sam Dog, that one was so bad. That was such a dad joke. I feel like you got me pregnant. Oh, yes, and tomorrow night is Severance night. And my friends, apparently episode 4 is particularly important. So please stay tuned to the Discord. We'll do an announcement, like, at some point tomorrow. Yes, and we will be watching Severance at... We'll probably be pressing... It'll be uploaded tomorrow, which is Thursday, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is my time. No, sorry, we're still in Daylight Savings Time. So jump into the Discord as close to 9 p.m. as you can, and we'll start the episode at like 9:10, 9:15. Oh, sweet Anita. Oh, and she looks amazing. Yay. All right, oh, there goes my Lego. Thank you for a great day. I will see you guys either on Friday or on Thursday, who knows. And maybe we'll just do the cosplay, even though this is really, you guys, we're doing really bad for subs this week. I need to wring more money out of each of you, but I'm distracted because, life gets in the way. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.